I'm in low fuel. I've got enough to do the race. I think I've got 8 laps left.
Yeah, so it was similar trim, and the rest of my cars, as it was race, other than fuel and radiator.
Yeah.
Come on, Bert, for fuck's sake.
What?
Presume that it's Bert Myland who's driving.
What's your fastest?
140.074.
139.1.
Dick.
Oh fuck.
What was yours, Mike?
140.074.
Oh.
That's race.
Race pace. Right.
My fastest race pace at the moment, so
it's a quali, but we're racing, if you get what I mean. I've been faster with this setup on a practice.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no, it's just power slid turn 1, that'll do. Better than spinning. I'll take a power slide. It's like, we're on our 5th lap and I'm still fucking 2 seconds behind, or was a few seconds behind Dan.
Did you lose it there, Dan?
No.
No, he fucking waved. He wanted to get a tow, didn't he?
Oh, track limits there. That's a safety car.
Textbook, Mike, textbook. I'll jot that one down for Pro-Am next year, yeah?
Well, that move.
Yeah.
Ready for Kelly's?
I can see me make it, yeah.
Don't be dick. Because I know you won't be saying anything nice about me.
That was textbook Kelly move, that was.
Yeah.
Shut up. Because obviously did something fucking dumb, didn't he?
Oh,
The only thing is I held it.
How the fuck did I hold that then?
Oh! Round the outside!
Yeah, what he didn't tell you was peaceful.
I've gone. This thing on fucking low fuel, so dodgy.
Kelly, Andy said some nice words about me and you.
That's where I would be, 3 seconds behind. I'll take that.
Andy said some nice words about me and you, Kelly.
He did?
He sent me a long...
Was he high?
Well, I don't know. But he sent me a long message about saying that he can't race tonight. And he said, where was it? I want to say thanks for the season and the effort you put in, especially on the stream side of things with Kelly. You guys have an unmatchable energy.
I'll take that, Dan.
So, we have an unmatchable energy.
I'll transfer that to the race. Where did you get that fucking lap in, though? Wow.
That was lap.
That's nice.
Your pace coming out that last corner is quick. Because last season, here, the last time we raced here, I came out of that last corner and Little Leach in the Porsche was pulling away from me. By the apex of turn 1, I was in front.
Yeah,
just
I
the slipstream.
Very little down.
Yeah, I was behind him as he was pulling away.
I think I'm running 1 and 6.
Yeah, I think they might have ran a bit more. And honestly, I was like, how the fuck have I just caught you and passed you when you pulled away on the exit of the corner?
Oh, Liam's gay, he loves it up the bum.
On that last
He's gay, he's bent, his ass is up for rent.
Say again.
What are you on about, Mike? Get it out, then.
You were fastest in the middle of the sector.
Was that?
He's gay, he's bent, his ass is up for rent.
Bang, bang.
Just for you.
Liam.
I do special offer, $1 sucky to the dollar fucky. $3, do what you want.
Liam.
I've been disconnected from your session, I'm rude.
Yes,
I'll rip you a new one.
Rip me 2 new ones if you want.
No.
Yes, I do know what rip a new one is.
Let's check I can save these videos.
I best just post as if Dan can still win the title and it's not a foregone conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a foregone conclusion then?
Give me a sec.
Well, to be fair, no, in reality, if Dan did fuck up, reset button or fucking whatever,
no,
is there a chance someone could win? So he's not.
One reset button brings Fury into it.
That's what I mean. So you need Dan to seriously fuck up or like that.
Oh, do I make it exciting?
But that's provided Fury still takes pole and wins both races and gets fastest lap.
I think you should do it, Dan, just for shits and giggles to make it go into next week.
But I've got to make sure it gets seen on the stream.
Oh, it's easy.
Well,
just wait for that.
No, you don't have to wait. Make sure it's got seen on the stream. You've got to make sure it's seen and someone picks it up. Someone can report you for doing
Disco.
it.
Fucking Disco. Make sure he's following me and then hit reset.
He'll be all over that shit.
No, I can't do that because that means losing points in the constructors, and we're still fighting the constructors. So.
Okay.
2 seconds.
There he is.
Oh god! If anyone's going to take me out tonight, it's going to be this cunt.
Oi, this man's a legend. Don't speak ill of this man. This man's a legend.
I haven't practiced this track.
You don't need to practice.
Who's driven here before your penis?
Yeah, you've driven here before, and in the Lambo.
Oh, have I? Did I win?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, that would be travel. I don't like it. What track's this? What track we at?
Fuji.
Oh, Fuji.
Is that Sooty?
Hello.
Is that Sooty Apex?
It is.
Oh, that's fucking champion. How you doing, mate? Right?
Yeah, alright, you.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Good.
No, actually, I've got a sore knee, and now you come to mention it, Graham.
A sore knee?
A sore knee, yeah. I fell down a flight of stairs today.
Oh, God. That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I say a flight 3.
That's right.
It's not 3. It's not.
Like a
enough.
friend.
It's enough. It was enough. It fucking hurt enough, so, yeah.
Did you get a bit of an itchy knee?
Did I get a what?
An itchy knee.
An itchy knee?
An itchy knee. We're in Fuji, an itchy knee.
Whatever the fuck you're on about.
Japanese, itchy knee.
No, it's not itchy knee. It fucking hurt a knee. Is there a job there, is there?
Like and subscribe.
Vehicle vinyl wrapper.
Oh, you need
Vehicle
to change
vinyl
the text
wrapper.
on that, Matt.
You what?
You need to change the text on your stream.
Do I? What to?
Because it still says it's a brand new racing league. Considering we're about to enter season 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We are brand new, all of us.
We need to chat about all that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely that, Dan.
None of us are champions here.
Yeah, we'll read
I
that.
was doing something.
So we'll have a little...
Sooty, I'm racing next season in Pro-Am.
You're racing next season in Pro-Am.
And you're not?
Teammates with Smithy.
Brilliant.
In the Acora.
Brilliant. Who's commentating?
Dan and Kelly.
Me. Well,
Thanks,
this
Kelly.
does, of course, if mean of, that I got to pro, of course.
So, Sooty, I'm going to do what you couldn't do last year, is win a race in the Honda.
Yeah, different category, mind.
Fuck it, mate. With the drivers that's signing up, it's going to be just as hard.
Oh, no, here we go. It's hard.
Yeah, fucking the Matthew Duffin big book of excuses.
Yeah.
I mean, with the drivers that signed up at the minute,
Dean's going to cause
Easier to win the Formula 1 championship.
I can win a championship in a car that's got a 1.6 engine. Oh, my name's Matthew Duffy.
Oh no, I didn't say I was going to win the championship. I just said win a race. I didn't say I'd win the championship.
No, originally you did say you'll win it and you'll do it in the Acora.
Yeah,
he said he's going to take the title to me the other night.
I am going to take the title. You're right. This is true.
Yeah. It's a strange, crazy, mixed-up world that he lives in, isn't it?
And Kelly's got to commentate on me winning the title in an Acora.
I don't see how you see that's a problem. What did I say to you about negative goals?
It's not a negative goal. It's just a goal that I can't wait to listen to the streams back and hear you praise how good the Honda is.
Why do you think... No, I'm not going to say that, am I? But I'll say how good you are in the shit car.
No, because what happens if me and Smithy get a 1-2?
Okay, well,
Yeah.
be very,
Then-
very.
then
What,
I'll
in the
retire.
dry?
I've got a better idea, Matt. If Phil isn't racing next season, why don't I come down to Prom and race with you?
Because you can't, mate. You've stayed up. You've done too well to stay up.
Oh!
Plus, the agreement was I have to race with Smithy.
Smithy's going to get coming on, like, isn't he?
He is, no, he is. And he said on the stream last week about me teaming up with him as a joke, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah, do it.
I'd happily do that. Yeah, bring him on.
He's coming on, and he'll do well with
I'm
you
good like
and-
that. I'll take on Peaceful the season
car.
after in Pro-Am to teach him. You know, it's like a charity. You know what I mean?
Well, no, always giving you.
If you
I
finish
was
in
about
the
to say he's
top
always
three,
taking it,
Mate,
Kelly.
I'm not being funny.
Yeah,
I'll touch wood when I say this, but I can't get relegated from this. I do as shit as I can, and I still can't fucking get relegated.
Mate, you watch me next season. Just you fucking watch and learn,
Yeah,
sunshine.
that's what I mean. Everyone else can. I just can't seem to do it.
It's
I need to
easy.
not turn up.
Yeah.
I didn't even manage it in the Acora Peaceful.
I probably could, mate, at the minute.
that's a point, Sutty, to be fair. You actually managed to stay up in the Acora.
And I missed races.
Yeah.
And you drove it on in the wet on slicks.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
That was fucked, mate. I was in a chat with him then, and I tried it. I followed him out on the Merkin slicks. I got to turn
don't you worry.
3 and went straight on.
Don't you worry, that's a tactic that I'm hoping to deploy next season.
It didn't work in the Lamborghini, man.
If you see me on pole in an Acora in a wet race...
By a country mile.
Yeah,
you're on
by a
slicks.
country mile, I have full Sooty Apex this bitch.
I was gutted though when I lost it in that fender, and I've been
I'm
bought
right.
in a
You
second.
fucked up, didn't you? And that's
Fuck
what
it.
put you on.
I may just go full Sooty and Dean Wasaki. I may go slicks with 0 and 0 downforce.
wait, hang on a minute. So does that mean that me and Kelly have to make notes when we're watching?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Fucking
You're
hell.
the lead.
Fucking hell, I'm gonna have a full book after Matt takes out everyone.
Yeah.
Don't know about.
He's gonna do a fucking Dean Wasaki at Spa.
You know what? I
Right, I'm
genuinely
going to put me
pissed
and Kelly in a party. Say that again, Sooty, because it was lagging while I was just doing something. Say it again. I know, honestly, I didn't hear. I just heard all the laughter. It was lagging out like mad. Brilliant. Oh, no, we're actually well... No, actually, in all fairness, me and Sooty are well behaved on Project Cars 2. It's just F1. Sooty's atrocious. And on that note, I'm going. Oh, that was funny as fuck. Oh, Mike, by the way, congratulations tonight. Make sure you make race 2. Because race 2's your 100th race. So well done. Right, I'm setting up a party with me and Kelly, so best of luck tonight, lads. Toilet and I need to text Little Reach. Because it's his 100th race as well.
Yo, yo. Have you sent out invites for the game yet, Matt?
Huh? Yeah, it's fine. Can eat some, yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I can eat some. Did you not get spring rolls?
Yeah, I've not got one. I'll just move this.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you, babe.
Oh, fuck, is anybody driving a fucking car?
Hello. Hello, Kerry. Right. Race 1, Little Leach makes his 100th appearance. Race 2. Yeah, they've gone out, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see it, sorry.
Race 2, Peaceful gets his. Other memorable notices. No, fine, thank you. Other memorable things, no. No. No other memorable things other than the 200th appearances.
Right, 2 100th appearances, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm going to go have a chat to you at some point about the show, as it were.
Yeah, he's had
and a couple of ideas I've had.
Yeah, okay.
One of them being...
Turn the lights off and shut the door, please, Beth.
One of them being about maybe trying to do a pre-season driver interviews.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and really quite simply, something they can do themselves. We give them a list of questions, and they just video themselves answering the questions, and then we edit it up into a video. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it can be quite simple. As I say, we just give them a list of questions, and they read out the question and answer their own question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those who'd be up for doing that.
And where would we post that? To Facebook or to the YouTube?
I was thinking of putting it on if you can put it on the title screen. You know what we're watching now? Yeah. What I find with, and I found it with Motive as well, right? This first 20 minutes or so, yeah?
Yeah.
Where all we're doing is watching, where it's saying stream starting soon and all the rest of it, right?
No, I've wanted something different there. What I've wanted was, like last season's highlight video or something, but because Liam never got round to it and I'm not the best at editing, it never happened, but I've wanted to change that.
Yeah, well, I think it's dead space. And when I first started watching Dan on SimPlay and on Motive, right, I found it extremely frustrating to be watching that page. Yeah. And I feel that we should do something with it. The other one being the mid-break, being that at the moment, my advert's running on a loop, basically, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
My advert's about 3 minutes or so, where it's like about a 10 or a 12-minute gap. I did think about doing another video for my entertainment company, but try and make it maybe interlace that with the same kind of content, driver interviews, maybe some highlights, you know?
Yeah, again, that's another one where I've wanted to do other things to like you say. I think I remember you having this conversation. I think we've had this conversation about Motive before doing it.
Yeah,
And it was then when I was trying to get it sorted, but again, Liam just decided to not really help out with it.
Right. Well, we need to find. I mean, the driver interview thing's really quite simple. I mean, you know, we could pass that round, and I can do that on video editor. That's easy. You know, cutting up bits of footage. Yeah, I don't really know how to do that or whatever, but I'm sure we can find someone who can. Yeah. You know, and we can go back and, you know, like, as I say, season highlights and so on and so forth, and adverts and features. Yeah, is what I wanted to. What I, you know, would. And, you know, we can rerun these things in different orders throughout the season. Yeah, just giving the people something to watch and making it a bit more interesting and a bit more like a proper programme. Yeah? Yeah. The other thing I thought about doing, and it was just a thought, is if you and me did, you know, like beginning a touring car where Tim Harvey and David Addison do a little bit of an introduction where you see him in the comms box. Yeah?
Yeah.
If we did a little bit of an introduction each night, like on camera. Like, I don't know if you've got a play. I haven't got a camera yet.
I don't have a camera, but I'm looking to get one.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about getting one at Christmas as well. Like, you know.
No, I don't know when I could get one. My problem with that is I don't know how I'd get your camera.
Right. Well, again, surely there might be some way of doing it.
Hopefully, there's some way of doing it. I will try and find that one out. But that is one that I would like to do. I know I've used the camera in the past, but the camera's always been a bit behind.
Yeah.
So it's never actually been up to date with the stream as it's going. So.
Yeah, we need a bit of. I mean, Dan's on a live camera when he's streaming, isn't he?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
For me to get me on there is fine because it will come straight from my stream.
Yeah.
It's excuse me. It's how I'd get us both on there.
Right.
I don't know how I'd be able to add your camera now.
Okay.
Whether that's something that can be sorted within the party or whatever, I don't know. But
well, it might be something that could be done almost pre-record, if you know what I mean. I'm just thinking out the box here a minute. You know, like a pre-record. We could almost pre-record it and add it on your OBS. Could we not?
Yeah.
You know,
that would be an easy way.
Even if it wasn't exactly live. Do you know what I mean? If we did it like 5 minutes before, you know, and you know, as I say, kind of posted it on your OBS, and it wouldn't be exactly live, you know.
No, I'd just have to turn it on, turn it off, press when we'd want that on. So obviously, as we cut to the screen of them racing, a little box appears in the bottom right or left hand corner, me and you, or maybe it appears on the full screen, whatever, you know, as they're coming out the pit lane.
And again, as you know, this kind of where we are exactly now, where you know, on my tablet, I'm looking at SimPlay starting. Yeah, it could happen like we could happen now, and then go back to whatever we're showing, and then start the stream. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. So we pre-record it a few minutes before, maybe even half an hour before.
Yeah.
It gets aired. Yeah. And then we go back to a title screen, and then we go to the actual live stream, if you see what I mean.
I'm with you, yeah. So maybe instead of doing then like a driver interview to start with, what we could do is we can have the starting screen like we've got now. And then, because that starts at 1:45, maybe at 10:02, I press a button that then cuts to us, the full screen of me and you talking.
Yeah.
A bit about the track, a bit about today's race and stuff. Then, you know, let's say that's 5 minutes long, 6 minutes long, and then we cut back to the starting soon screen for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then bang, we're live for the stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I mean, if we can add more and more content as well to fill in the blanks as well, you know, I you know, just as I say, trying to make it more like a television program, you know, that's just what I'm trying to achieve.
Well, and I'm the same. I'm wanting that as well as we go further forward as we start to get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay, just change to one of the other drivers, and that's when we'll be live. Good afternoon then, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport, live for your Pro Series. And the championship can be wrapped up tonight, and more than likely will be wrapped up tonight, as I had a message from Andy earlier saying that he will not be able to participate in tonight's race due to work commitments. So it would seem that Dan, Ron Orthodubs, is a 2-time champion. What a shame that Andy's not going to be able to be here to race. What a shame that he's not going to be able to go out there on track and give us his absolute all like he has done all season in regards of Dan. Now, he will get a drop score of 16. But even if Dan scores nothing tonight, Andy's drop score of 16 would mean that he'd need Dan to hit the reset button or be docked points to be in the championship fight going into next week, which is a shame for Andy, but real life matters and work comes first, and obviously Andy having to be there tonight. We are a couple of drivers short at the moment. Still no Mazda, no Emo Guy, no Phil as of yet. And I'm not seeing Little Leach out there either. And which is a shame because Little Leach is on his 100th appearance tonight. And it's great effort from Little Leach. I'm Matthew Duffin in the commentary box, Thursday Night Pro Series as always. And I'm joined in the box by Kelly Davis. And Kelly, Andy missing tonight kind of put a bit of a damp squid on this one.
Yeah, a little bit, to be fair, and I do feel a little bit, gutted about it, really. Andy's given us, getting down a really good run, and obviously, for the obvious reasons that I'm stoked that Daniel is a 2-time champion and that he's won it. But I think Andy's given him a good run, and he's given us they've given us some great entertainment this season. And, we're at the sharp end of the season now, and it would be nice just to see them duke it out a couple of more times, season 5, new challenges. Hopefully Andy will be back for season 5 and Dan will be back for season 5, and we'll start all over again. But hey, let's not be too down, because there's still lots of great drivers out there.
Oh, indeed there is. Indeed there is. Still plenty of talent. Little Leach just texted me. He's running a little late, but will be here. So the first race tonight will be Little Leach's 100th.
Yep.
And Peaceful Explosion will make his 100th appearance in the second race tonight. So two making the century, the ton up in terms of cricket. Big cricket fan myself, so the big ton up for the cricket for the Peaceful Explosion of Little Leach. Dan's not too far behind that. He will be on his 93rd race start tonight, but he'll have to wait till next season to get that one in the bag. If Emo Guy turns up tonight, he'll be one. If he does both races, he'll be one race away from 50. Nickie's 2 races away from 50, and they will get their landmarks next week at Bathurst. Nothing really else in terms of landmarks to talk about. Obviously, in terms of the manufacturers qualifying, the AMG got its 50th pole last night, but the Porsche can gain on its 50th win. It's on 45 at the minute and can go at least to 47 tonight. But that obviously depends on who else is out there on the track to stop them. Fuji, though, Kelly, you was here last night. It looks a very clear night according to the forecast tonight.
That's good news.
Good track. I enjoy Fuji, and last night brought some interesting racing. What do we expect tonight from these boys?
I had probably one of the best rounds for wheel-to-wheel racing that I've ever had last night. I thoroughly enjoyed the racing last night, and I'm not a big Fuji fan, to be fair. I'm not a fan of the track, but I've always kind of gone quite well here, and It's a strange one, isn't it? It is a strange track. It's got some very bizarre corners, especially towards the end of the lap, and of course that extremely long straight. It favours does it favour a certain car? I don't think it does. I think it kind of levels things a bit.
It does level things a bit. And Plava, guys, do you have a league Discord? I will message you, and Plava, because you joined the group last night, so I'll message you on Facebook with the Discord in a little moment after the stream tonight. I think that's who we was talking to in the public lobby yesterday.
We were chatting to somebody early last night when we were doing practice, and he was going to join us. If that's you, hello again. I chatted to you very briefly. Hello again and welcome along. Tell your friends.
There is the Discord.
Let's get involved. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. I've just posted the Discord in the chat for those who want the Discord. Let's go, Sutty, expecting big things after Welsh's look last night. Evening to Fury's granddad, Plava, JR Sim Racing, Peaceful Explosion in the chat, Audio Sport, our delightful, lovely sponsor there as well. PN Motorsport Gaming as well. JR Sim Racing, boys on the mic, some of the best in the biz. What kind words?
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it, sunshine. Well, thank you for those kind words. We do love what we do, and that makes it easy. To be fair, it's not difficult. I'm just having a chat with me mate.
Yeah, it is. And the words of Andy said something earlier that I can't remember exactly what the words was, but it was praising the way that me and Kelly do on stream
Yeah.
as well. And the kind words do not go unappreciated here, because we are... me and Kelly, we love the appreciation that you guys give us. It really puts a smile on our face. We just sat at our homes, Kelly down in Cornwall, me in the Midlands, just, doing this for your enjoyment, and the kind words really do mean a lot. But like you say, Kelly, back to what you said about, does this track suit any car? I don't think it does. I think it's a track that suits... I said to Dan last night, it's kind of a track that's got 3 parts to it. Sector 1, Mercedes dominant. You've got 2 corners in Sector 1, Turn 1, Turn 2. You've got the big long straight, you've got a short second straight between Turn 1 and 2. Mercedes part of the track. Middle sector, I could see favouring like the Porsche. Quite a fast, flowy part to the circuit. That final sector, McLaren, Ferrari, Acura, Renault, as we saw last night and as we're seeing now, dominant part of the track. Tight, twisty circuit where the Porsche may not get the best out of it compared to the Renault. And as we're seeing at the minute, Gary, yes, 1.2 off the back of Dan, but currently sat second as Fury. Huge. Well held.
Tokyo Drift, look out.
So I think the track just suits... It's sort of a 3 parts to this track, Kelly, and suits different cars the further along the track you go.
I was pleasantly surprised last night. I was expecting to get very severely mugged on the straight. For those who don't know, I'm driving the Renault in Pro-Am, and I was expecting to get very heavily mugged on the long straight, and I wasn't. I was, certainly when I was in the slip of the Mercs, I was right there with them.
Yeah.
And the Lambo, so on and so forth, weren't getting away from us last night, and both me and my teammate Nicky, I don't know if he's out in the chat tonight.
Not seen him yet.
Prolapse, Taste the Rainbow, all that. We were both on the podium last night. In a track where you look at that, I don't know what it is, a half a mile, 3/4 mile, long straight. We weren't being mugged like we thought we were being. So it's a bizarre one.
You see the straight, you think you get a great run out the last corner, fine. But you look at that straight and you think that Mercedes will eat you alive, especially in the Renault.
Absolutely. And it didn't.
And you're right, it didn't. No, it didn't. You managed to fight with Joe and Kieran and Mays and give it your all. And what battles we was, especially with Welshie in that second race. Do you want some championship standings, Kelly?
Oh, God. I was away last week. I have so missed some standings.
I knew you'd miss the standings and the stats. I'll give you a few standings and stats.
Please.
Dan leads away, 423 points, 72 clear of Andy. And like we said, no Andy tonight means that Dan has wrapped up the title. Now, he could have wrapped it up tonight anyway if Andy was here, but Andy would have obviously made that as hard as possible for him. Fury sits in 3rd place. He cannot win the title unless Dan makes a mistake and hits that reset button in qualifying or in the race. That would deduct him 5 points. Or has an incident where the stewards feel that he deserves points deduction for that. Fury cannot win it. BT Targa sitting in 4th place, and in a car that we feel he's learnt this season, Kelly. We feel that he's got better in as the season's gone by.
Yeah. Although I think he's going to bin it next season.
Yeah, I think he is going to bin it. But what a season he's had. P4. Gary, P5. And we've joked with the Renault, but Gary's back end of the season form as well has been fantastic. It's really been good to see in that Renault. Ever since we mocked him at Donington Park, Gary's been on the money. Sutty not too far behind Gary in P6 in the Lamborghini. Got a win at Zolder. And it was nice to see Sutty back on top. He's been on the podium and has obviously won a race this season, so it's nice to see Sutty back up there and out and about again. He's 1 point ahead of Disco, who's back this week, and it's nice to see Disco, who's currently sat P2, back out there on track. X-Mark currently P8 with Little Each on his 100th appearance, struggling to get on at the moment. Sat in he's not there, he sat P9 though in the championship. And really, the battle from Gary down to Biggs is a tight one. 209 Gary's on, then Sutty's 198, Disco's 197, X-Mark's 193, Little Leach's 189, and Biggs, P10, 186. So not many points. There's 13 points between 5th and 10th. So what a championship battle this could be for a final few places. And Biggs hasn't had a season that he had last year. Can he regain this as they go into the final 4 races? Peaceful then. The man on screen sits P11. He can gain on Biggs. Can he catch him? Probably not. Monkey Boy P12. We've Phil down in 13th. We've not seen much of Phil this year. Struggled to get on with family commitments and work, which is, again, real life matters, totally understandable. Mazda said to me and Dan last night he was here for the last 4 races of the season. Well, he's not out there at the moment, and he will not be back next season, as he has to. The admin's decided that it was time for him, who's kind of not done a full season in 4 seasons, to take a year's sabbatical And if he's to come back, he has to commit when he comes back. Emo Guy sits P15 again. He's another one not out there at the moment, but he joined very, very late into the season. Jamie Brazier, P16 on 25 points. Again, another one who has to take a year's sabbatical after dropping out and then deciding to come back and go again. The admins have decided that he has to take a year out and miss a season of GT3 action. They're at free to enter anything else, but a season of GT3s, they cannot. And then that Bozzy boy, who's only on 7 points, he's only made Brands and Donington. He turned up for the first race last week, didn't get three-quarter distance to score points. But he struggled with work a lot this season, and that's been his problems. And I'm going to let Kelly talk us through a lap as Little Each gets in, and then I'll get to the constructors.
And here we go, Fuji lap. Been a while since the Formula One's been here. Lewis Hamilton, I believe, won the last one in the wet at Fuji. I don't think it's changed much since then. Long straight pits, obviously on the right-hand side, as you can see. And coming along, look for the marker boards and hit the brake spout now. Down a load of gears. This is a tricky turn one. Try to pull it into the apex. Well, don't worry about it, Gary. And down the hill just slightly. Start to pick up again. It gets before you get to the tricky left-hander of turn two. Lots of mistakes made. Me too last night and lost positions both times. Tricky and slippery there. Now this is a long right-hander. Go into it flat scat and then you've got to let off a little bit. As you see, back end get a little bit loose on the Renault. Pull it across the right-hand side if you can for the braking zone for another left-hander. Tight apex and then a long exit. You accelerate hard all the way down through here. Right-hand turn, you don't really notice this one or the next one. Big braking zone coming up and opportunity of overtaking. Hit the brakes now, down the gears. Try and pick up the apex. This is the Mickey Mouse section, as far as most people are concerned. Right, left, right, off camber. This one, next one, severely off camber. Don't put it up on the curb. Watch the back end go light. Try to stay on track. As Gary's, oh, come on, Gary, hold on to it. There you go. That's what champions do. Another off camber corner, really tricky one. Easy to go off on the right hand side there. Last corner, again, another one. Different lines in this one. But you want a really good run as you get onto this long back straight. Try not to go wide and out off the track. Happens really easily. Just have a quick look for the pit lane entrance on your right hand side, which comes up about now. Got to get to the right hand side of that cone and stay on the red. Go into the pit lane, and that is a lap with two times champion Gary 131.
Indeed it is. And talking about two times champ and constructors champ, Shake and Bake looking to make their constructors championships two times as well, as they are 61 ahead of Slingshot Motorsport. But there is plenty of points up for grabbing that one. Team Prolapse are out of it. They can actually stay in this mathematically, but they really need to outscore Shake and Bake Motorsport by some margin in this first race. Leachy Losers P4 in the Renault ahead of Wakasaki Racing, but Fury's pretty much done that one on his own all season. Run Flat Racing are then in sixth place with GKO Motorsport in seventh. Then it's SimPlay Racing, the Iron Brewers, and Iron Brew Racing down the order there then, Kelly, in that one. And what's the order looking like at the moment? Dan, Disco, BT, D-Biggs, Gary, X-Mark, Peaceful, they're all jumbled up, but Dan really looks like he's got the bit between his teeth here, because he has set some electric pace.
Absolutely. Dan and Disco, the only two in the 38s in this session. BT so close. I was just thinking about BT. He's been quietly going about his business, hasn't he? BT in that Porsche. Do you know what I mean? And he's had a, I believe he's had a race to win, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Has he had a race
last
to win?
week? Last week, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he's been going about his business really quite quietly, and getting the results for Prolapse in my old car. Bless him.
He seems to have picked up as the season's gone on, Kelly.
Yeah, and again, I believe he's going to change that car at the end of the season, and this guy as well, Fury. I mean, he's got to be. If we were doing driver of the season, this man would be the most improved for me. What a, I was racing this guy in Pro-Am last season. Do you know what I mean? And now he's been sniffing around the title of Pro. And, another cracking run, and he's a second behind Dan. But again, at the very sharp end of the 39s. And have these guys got a bit more to come in quali?
Well, this is it, isn't it? The gap, though, between you could say BT Targa in fifth down towards Peaceful in eighth is half a second. So from third to eighth is quite packed there as well. 18 people currently watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new. And, 4 races to go, Kelly. 12 weeks this season's been going, so obviously we had the midweek break at Oschersleben. Yeah, me and Dan said this last night. We're at the end of a season. We've got a bit of a longer off-season because of the Christmas and New Year period. We're not back till the 12th and 13th of January, but how quick has it gone?
It's gone really quick, and it's as I say, it's difficult to think we're at the sharp end, and probably you and me in the commentary box is a little bit isn't going to happen quite so much next season if all things pan out the way that they should do. Our time together is limited for a little while, Matthew.
Yeah, it could be the last 2 weeks of me and Kelly commentating together, because I'm hoping to get in the Pro-Am, and Kelly looks like he's promoted to the Pro, so this could be the last of Sweet and Sticky for a season, Kelly will be
I'm sure we'll come together for stuff.
Yeah, Kelly. We'll 100% come together for stuff. Yeah. Kelly will be with Dan on a Wednesday night commentating on me, and I'll be commentating on Kelly with a brand new commentator on a Thursday night. We'll just have to wait and see. Just as we come to the end of practice, Kelly, I just want to read out the calendar for Season 5 that starts the 12th and 13th of January. And we go back to some tracks we visited. We also have some new tracks. We've got the Red Bull Ring in there as practice ends.
That's a firm favourite, the Red Bull Ring, isn't it? And everyone knows that. That should be a cracking season opener.
And it's not a night race like we've had this year. It's middle of the day for the Red Bull Ring. We go to Watkins Glen, brand new for the season, an early morning race in America. That should throw up a few things because, a bit interesting. We go back to Hockenheim, which was, the bit of rain we had season 2 at Hockenheim, I thought made the race fantastic. It was a tricky race to get right.
That was a hard one, I remember that, yeah.
We go back to Brno, which we've not been to since season 1. We're back at Fuji, but in the daytime again. We've done Fuji twice in the night as D-Biggs gets back in. I didn't realise he'd actually gone, but Biggs gets back in. We go to Fuji, but this time in the day for a day race. That should be interesting. The halfway point of the season, we go to Texas. We're not going to our usual Daytona road course for the normal Daytona. We're going to Texas road course for the first of 2 night races. That one I'm looking forward to, Kelly, to see the differences.
I can't remember the how the track layout is. I must go and have a look at it because I can't remember what the track layout is for Texas. But replacing Daytona, as you said. I've always had good luck at Daytona, so I'm hoping that luck moves on to Texas. To be fair.
We then go to Alton Park. We have to chuck a British track in there every season, of course we do. When we go to Alton Park, since season 2, the full version. That's a tight, twisty, bumpy circuit that we look forward to. And then we go to another tight, twisty circuit in Long Beach, bringing back the street track of season 2. That would be you, Kelly, that picked that one.
Oh, so it was. Yes.
We then head to Ruapuna Park, which, if you remember rightly, was the one that closed season 2 out.
Sorry, Matt. Hang on. How's it pronounced? Ruapuna Park.
Ruapuna, yeah.
Ruapuna from my Kiwi.
Yeah, said that one. Because I remember she said in season 2.
Ruapuna. Yeah, no, it wasn't you I was picking up on the pronunciation. It was me. Ruapuna. I've got to remember that because I get clipped round the ear by Hayley every time I get it wrong. Stop hitting me, woman! Stop it!
We go to Ruapuna, where Gary beat Jamie for his second season 2 title. We then head to Laguna Seca, the track of many glitches that happened in season 2. We're there for an evening race.
Spooky Laguna, yep.
We then go to Nürburgring, Kelly, for the second of the 2 night races of the season, and we did the 24-hour of the Nordschleife combined. We're now going to the Nürburgring for a night race. That one I'm expecting to be quite interesting as we go around there. We close the season at Spa.
Classic Spa. Love Spa. Probably my all-time favourite track is Spa-Francorchamps. So I'll be looking forward to that. I don't mean that I'm particularly good there. I'm just my favourite.
Yeah, and it'll be particularly hard for you to do that in the Pro as well. Evening to Fury's mum, checking in from the pub. Go Fury. Well, have a drink on me. Have a drink on Fury if he wins the race.
Thank you.
And I hope that... No, I've seen you. Hey.
I wasn't on gin that night.
No, that's fair. You was on the Jaeger bombs.
Hey, what happens at Donington stays at Donington.
It does, yes, you're right. We're at Fuji, so,
Yep.
Do what you want.
So I'll have a gin and tonic, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Fury's mum, hope you're get on the karaoke at the pub. Get the Christmas songs belted out, why don't you?
We need a chat with Fury's mum, because you've got to bring Fury to Donington in March.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about that.
Bring Tony, bring Fury's granddad along as well. Get all 3 of you. We'd love to see the Fury's massive.
More the merrier.
But we're into quali, and everybody's on their outlaps now, Kelly. And 6.5 minutes to go. D-Biggs, I think, still on an outlap as he came back into the session late. Who are we tipping for pole here?
It's got to be Dan, isn't it? Got to be Dan. Disco's going to give him a run, hopefully, and he's Fury going to be in there as well, I think. But I mean, look at the pace Dan had in practice, so probably tipping Dan for this one. To be fair.
Well, he is purple in the first two sectors in the minute, and we're on board Exmont as he's coming to the line. Monkey Boy's done a 39.6. Fury's not set the best of banker laps here, and Exmont cross the line only a 39.5.
Yeah. As you say, but 39.5 is a 39.995 is a good banker lap. So all these guys, we didn't see too many 39s last night. I dipped into it once in practice, never got near it again, but we'll see what the race pace is.
Yeah, we'll see what the race pace is, and Dan's already dipped into the 38s, Kelly, and he's already 6/10 near enough quicker than Disco. But Disco face early doors, and he's actually behind Disco on the track, so that's an interesting one to see. But Dan set in the early pace, and we wait for Biggs and Sutty. That Bozzy boy's currently in the pits. He could do with getting a lap out there, and nice to see Liam back out on track. Obviously, we know he's had struggles this year, becoming that bit older and getting his first job and having to work the Thursday night, the real life sort of struggles we've not been able to race.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just the way the world works. But it's nice to see him back out on the track. Do believe he's signed up for next year. He'll be dropping into the Pro-Am. And the Pro-Am looks a tasty grid with the sign-ups we've got coming in.
Yeah, it does, and I'm almost glad I'm leaving. It does look like it's going to be a tough category next year. So I'll be rolling around at the back of this category instead, staying out of it. But yeah, we'll be passing Liam on the plane. I've got my ticket, and he's got his ticket. And
yes, you've got.
That's right.
Better book your plane ticket, Kelly.
I've finally got my ticket to Pro, just as Liam gets his ticket back to Pro-Am.
Oh, brilliant that then. So Gary must have made a mistake this lap as Disco then is pulled to one side, and is he going to let Gary through? Who's on an improved time at the moment? He's actually Gary green at the minute. Biggs has just gone quicker through the final sector and goes within half a tenth of his teammates. So D Biggs flying at the minute, but then Dan ups it to half a second to his teammates as BT Targa just outside the 38s now as well. And for Dan and D Biggs, are we going to see the shake and bake boys? Pardon me, at the front of the pack? Dan actually pulled me to this, Kelly. Biggs was running second at the very first race of the season. And I mentioned about how he dropped it in a GT5 once to lose a championship. And since that race, Biggs never finished on the podium in that race. And since then, he's not really had the best of seasons. So Dan reckons Dan reckons I cursed him. So
I mean, he's had an horrendous season, and people who are new to SimPlay, D Biggs is a much better driver than he showed this season, and I really do hope he gets his mojo back next year, because he was a contender last season.
Was a contender,
a strong contender.
I think was at one stage had a bit more consistency of podium rate than what Dan and Gary did, if you remember rightly. Although it wasn't wins. Second and third, the podium rate for D Biggs compared to Dan and Gary, I think, was a lot better, and it's just not been there this year, has it?
No, it hasn't for him, and life happens like that, doesn't it? From time to time, whatever you do, just all goes a little bit wrong, and that's track limits. Great, isn't it? Yeah. You should know better after 100 races.
Well, he's only 99 at the minute. He's not technically started his 100th race yet.
He started 99.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on, man. D Biggs, let's hope he's back on form next season for sure. And again, Pro's going to be quite the season next year. There's some real exciting prospects for Pro next year.
Season 5 could be one of the best seasons, I think. There's some tasty drivers that signed up, brand new drivers, some returning drivers. And with the promotion relegation stuff, there's a lot of talent in both Pro and Pro-Am, and it's going to be one to keep your eye on. Car choices, I think, could be crucial next season. I think car choice is going to be what's going to keep you, whether it keeps you up, gets you up, or wins you a championship, I think.
And I mean, we've now got SimPlay now into knocking on the door of season 5, running the GT3s. We've got so much information and so much experience in these cars, that everyone's got their own stories about what car does what and how it handles and so on and so forth. And it's now where there's not so many grey areas about about this format.
Yeah.
And that's you need to be informed going forward.
You do, and I think you look at the calendar as well. I don't see many top speed circuits on that calendar. So could we see a few different car choices on there to maybe just throw up a few? Could we see the return of the Bentley that we've not seen much? We saw it at Brands Hampton. That was it. Could we see? Could we see the Acura come back and maybe do something? Could the Ginetta still be there? Could the is there going to be any M6s on the grid next year? How many Mercedes-Benz will there be? Will there be any Porsches? What about a McLaren? What about the Lamborghinis? Sutty and Welshie, the only two that drive Lamborghinis, but what's going to happen with in Pro and then Welshie in the Pro-Am and so forth? Will there be a Lamborghini in the Pro-Am? Will there be a Lamborghini in the Pro? We just don't know, and I think
there's with the people that I know. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah, same here.
A few people that are sticking with the same car. I think. Actually, this man has been talking about other cars, and I won't say on stream what he's been talking about, although he's been quite vocal about what he was, what he fancies.
If I look through the grid, sorry, go on, Kelly.
Just saying going on what I was saying. There's a lot of people who are making changes. Myself,
BT Targa's purple in the first sector. Don't know if we can catch the end of his life. He's gone back to the pits.
No, he's gone back to the
what
pits.
A shame. But I'm looking at the list of drivers out here. That Bozzy Boy spoke of different cars. Again, I'm not going to name what cars.
No.
Little Leach and Gary, different car.
Yeah.
They've spoke about it. X-Mark BT Targa, they've spoke about it.
Definitely.
Monkey Boy Peaceful have spoke about it. Unorthodox D Biggs have spoke about it. Fury spoke about it. Don't know much on the Disco half. Don't know much on the Sooty half about it. I know there's a lot in Pro-Am. Welshie Stelsoft talking of a different car. Yourself, a different car maybe. There's a lot of talk there. Some newer drivers coming in. What will they pick? Some returning drivers coming in. What will they pick? Will people change like Dean Wasocki, who already picked a new car in the SLS? A lot of things here that could see some returning cars, but could also see, like the Bentley. All right, we had it with Don Productions at Pro-Am at Brands GP, but we had it for 2 races and it's not been back. Could we see the Bentley be more of a feature next year? 2 cars we've not had out on the track at the minute is the Cadillac and the Aston Martin. Will somebody look to them and think... Both talked about, will somebody look to them and think... Oh, this is interesting. Disco in the chat. I think there's 2 at least. So, he's talking of different cars. So, a lot of conversations everywhere. Driver lineup seems to be pretty nailed on. I think it's just the promotion guys and the newbies coming in. We don't know who's going to be driver lined up. As Fury crosses the line now and goes P2 at the end. So a good lap from Fury to put it on the front row of the grid. But it does look like it's going to be Unorthodox, who he has done. Liam then in the end couldn't get nothing done there in terms of his grid position. Kelly, talk us through the grid.
So on pole, as I predicted, Unorthodox, soon to be double champion. Let's not jinx him. But with a 38.3, that's quick. And Fury with a cracking lap. He's going to be a contender for this championship next season. Fury in second place on a 38.6. D Biggs, a bit more like his form in third. BT Targa, a good run from him in my old car, and to put it into fourth place. Peaceful Explosion, again, a good run from Mike, and seems to be quite comfortable in practice that I was hearing earlier this evening. He puts it in fifth place. Disco was expecting a little bit more, but still a solid sixth place there. Monkey Boy in seventh, also going well. Gary struggling a little bit in eighth. He usually wins the neck of that Renault and gets the best out of it, but only could manage eighth place. I say only manage, he's only 1.3 off the ultimate pace. X-Mart, the other Pro Laps Porsche in ninth place. Sooty Apex in 10th. Little Leach on his 100th appearance comes in 11th, and Liam struggling there a little bit at the back in 12th place. And that's your lineup.
That is your lineup. That is as well Unorthodox's fifth pole position of the season, and for a guy that we've said in the past, he's not a qualifier. Dan's not been. This has been his best season of qualification. No pole season 1. He got 2 season 2, 3 season 3. He's got 5 now this season. That takes him to 11 pole positions overall at his time here at SimPlay Motorsport. It also takes the Porsche onto 33 pole positions overall, 2 behind the Lamborghini now. So actually it's third on the all-time pole positions list, which is quite unbelievable to say that, Gary and Dan, the Porsches won 4 seasons pretty much. And it's only third on the all-time pole position list. It's only second in all-time wins. But that is Pro and Pro-Am added together. Dan, the extra point then so far, and who's going to do what? Get your predictions in the chat for who you think's going to win the race. Smithy saying Acora. Who would want that, says Smithy. Aston Martin, he says. Nope, thinking of loyalty, says Disco. New car being talked about at the Fury garage. N-Dubs looking strong. What you running the Porsche on? Geez, 138. Does the wheel make it that much quicker? I was 142 on the pad. That's 6 seconds. I'll have to buy a wheel. Yes, Smithy, get yourself a wheel for next season. 100%. No, he's on the pad. He's on the pad. Watch this space. Soon to be Pro-Am champ. I'm joking. Smithy, get a wheel next season. Trust me, Pro-Am champ. Evening to Welshie and Peaceful
Step that seasons
as well. Couldn't do what? Pro-Am champ?
Pro-Am champ. Couldn't do it for 2 seasons. Mine's just not over. But it's not over, but it is.
Yeah, no, exactly. Who's your money on then, Kelly, for this race?
I was going to say Dan. I want to see D Biggs do well on this one, and BT, to be fair. But I think Fury's. I don't know. Disco. If I'm going to pick somebody, I'm going to go with a change of form for D Biggs. If I have to pick someone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Peaceful Explosion from 5th. Let's see what that Mercedes-Benz can do, but we'll keep an eye on him then as they're all synced up and ready to go. The lights start to come on now. The revs rise. We're green here at Fuji and all relatively away quite well. Dan immediately comes across to cover Fury, who covers off D Biggs, who was Disco with Disco Face weaving all over the place in the background. Oh, he's had a hit up the rear. Didn't quite see who that was from. I think it was one of the Pro Laps Porsches then, as they looked like they was off. BT and Disco dropping down the order. Little Eachan has made his 100th start and is climbing up. Well, he's dropped down the order, in fact, to 10th place. Nicky's in the chat, so evening to him. But there is that Bozzy boy from the back of the pack, already up to P7. And how's he doing? Oh, that looked like a Merc round. It was Monkey Boy spinning right round. I think he got a tap. That is a Pro Laps of X-Mart. Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear!
Oh, Peaceful's problems again. Look, Peaceful. Oh, what does he? If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. Would Peaceful, would he? Just collected up on whoever that was. I think it was BT. Yeah, look at the state of that. That's got to be BT's. But hey, look at the front. Fury's on a mission. Look, here he goes. Careful there, boys. It's, that's where things go wrong real quickly. There.
It is where things go wrong. Fury kept it around the kept it as nice as he could round the outside of Dan. Managed to get a nose up the inside. Now he's trying to shut the door on Dan and gets that job successfully done. And Fury then leads already into the final part of the track at the end of lap 1. And Dan just a bit twitchy through there, maybe. I know Dan struggled a bit in this last sector in the season. In Emplava, 12th and 13th of January, the season starts. Keep your eyes out for that. Fury taking a different line to Dan. And Dan trying to keep it tighter. It's not always the line that works. We saw that last night with Kelly, who tried to take a tight line. And it didn't seem to come off for you. But Fury leads then, and look at D Biggs. He's got a good run, Kelly. Sutty's up to 4th, Gary's up to 5th in the background, but here comes D Biggs on his teammate.
Yeah, he looks like he's maxed out and can't quite push it through, but Dan's not going to fight him too hard. In fact, Biggs doesn't fight Dan too hard on that one. They need to work together to make sure Fury stays in touch. And Gary with a great start in that Renault, Sutty with a great start, and Liam with a great start as well, starting at the back of the grid, up to 6th place at the moment after all the melee of turn race lap 1.
Yeah, lap 1 now. BT Targa's in the pits. Pit window doesn't open till lap 4 and it closes at the end of lap 12. So BT Targa has got to pit again, as are the rules in the Pro Series. And Peaceful will have to pit again here. So them two then, their first race hasn't gone according to plan, but Peaceful could maybe get pole for race 2 on his 100th. And who's that?
Biggs?
That's Biggs, and he's had a moment coming through turn
2.
No, turn 5. Coming through turn 5, the left-hander after the long right-hander. And is Sutty going to send one at the hairpin? Of course he is. He's going to have a look up the inside. Can Biggs do what Fury did and keep it up there? He has done. Gary's looking interested as well. Now cuts to the outside line as they come round the left-hander, Kelly. Gary's got past Sutty.
Go round him. He's too far out. He's too far out there. He's just drifted away from the apex, but still keeps in behind Biggs. So Gary, the net winner out of that one.
Yeah, indeed he was. He got past Sutty, who he's been on the back of all lap. And Gary then, in the tow of D Biggs. We know the Renault's quite strong in the slipstream. Yep. It's the minute it's out the slipstream that's the problem. And Gary gets a quality run out that final corner. BT's already out the pits. He's got to pit again. Peaceful then. Couldn't avoid Biggs. 100 rear, 36 front. I don't think it was Biggs. I think it was BT, Mike, because Biggs is currently P3 and trying to defend from Gary out front. Dan looking on the back of Fury, but he can't get nothing done into turn 1. Can Gary, though? Look at the Renault late on the brakes. And Gary, what a manoeuvre we saw with yourself last night, Kelly, on Argent. Yep. How much later that Renault could brake than the Mercedes, and it's the same for the Porsche.
Absolutely. And, the Renault is good on its brakes, and it was something that I was certainly trying to capitalise on last night. And Gary certainly did. He did it in a great fashion down the inside.
But he's gone very wide. Yeah, he's gone very wide at turn 3 as Gary, and there's a few different lines to take through turn 3, but Biggs cuts underneath and gets him back. Now, this is where Biggs had the mistake last lap. Gary looks to cut underneath, bit of a nudge up the rear. Hello, Biggs, I'm there. But that nudge has lost the momentum out of turn 5. Sutty looks at 6, which is flat. Down this little straight, is Sutty going to... He's going to get Gary done. Will he look to send one on Biggs? I thought he was having a look, but no, he doesn't. Gary, though, just with that late braking of the Renault, able to keep it around the outside and holds position.
Absolutely, and this Renault isn't half bad around Fuji. It really isn't, you know. And as I said, I had a cracking good race here last night, as did my teammate Nicky. We had a great time in the Renault last night. It was actually a pleasure to drive it last night. So this Renault is really quite good round Fuji when, you know, stats-wise, you wouldn't really expect it.
No, you wouldn't really expect it. And Fury's mum, if you're in the bar, just pass the stream round. Tell them all to jump on and like and subscribe. The more the merrier.
I'll have a vodka and coke this time. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll have a brothers if they've got any brothers in rhubarb custard or Parma violets, whatever. But get everybody in the bar watching the stream. Get them to put it on the big screen. Why not? You know.
Yeah,
what else?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
What else are you doing on your Thursday nights?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing else on. What, you know, what, I was going to say, what are you going to watch? But I don't know, because I don't watch telly on a Thursday.
Yeah, there we go then. As Gary then, still ahead of Sutty, losing out to D-Biggs a little bit. Fury has just gapped down a bit more out front. And as we look down this pack, you've got Gary on the back of Biggs. You've got Dan on the back of Fury. Sutty's with Gary. Little each trying to close in as well. Disco's down in 8th. That Bozzy Boy's dropped to 9th. He's got Monkey Boy on the rear of him. And for BT, Targa and Peaceful, they're 8. Oh, Liam's got some damage, but can pit at the end of this lap as the pit window now opens.
Yeah, and Little Leach just starting to pull himself into contention at this midfield battle. And the top two have certainly gapped this battle now by some 6 seconds. So up front, Fury is still leading from Dan, and as I say, 6 seconds back, you've got D-Biggs, you've got Gary, you've got Sutty, and now Little Leach is getting interested. All good quality drivers. Yeah. So, you know, if this battle goes on like this, then, we're in for a great night.
And not far behind, look, his X-Mart in the background. Can he do anything to gain on the back of Little Each and Sutty? Is Gary then just starting to pull away from the Lamborghini and just hoping to stay with the Porsche of Biggs, and we say, Biggs! Oh, a bit silly. A little bit silly that.
Yeah, that wasn't great, Dom, that one. Did Sutty get any damage or whatever? Look, Little Leach is now getting very interested, but the Lamborghini just starts to... Oh, look. He's coming across. Is Sutty going into the pits? Was he just
Sutty coming into the pits? He is going to come into the pits. I think is D-Biggs in the background.
Excuse me.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is indeed. So, is this when's pit lane? What's pit
window opens lap 4 to end of lap 4. So now, and then closes at the end of lap 12. Gary as well's made a pit stop, and that was a lovely stop from the Leachy Losers team there, getting the job done. So Gary in out. Sutty's not had a bad stop. He stays ahead of Biggs. That's Monkey Boy who's coming as well.
Yes, indeed. So, good stop from both those guys. Gary had an absolute cracker.
Yeah.
Got that down a treat. I had a couple of good stops last night, 2-second stops, you know, kind of Red Bull territory, you know, which is lovely when it happens like that.
Do you know, we've said that now, but they changed the rule in F1, didn't they, so that the pit stops now are a little longer, so we keep saying Red Bull territory, but
they've got to manually confirm, haven't they? I think they've got buttons on their guns.
On the guns,
and stuff like that.
So they've got to,
they've got to manually confirm.
Because I think when I watched the F1 at the weekend, it was like a sub 2-second pit stop by Red Bull, but back at Hungaroring, and that was, was middle of the summer. Fury!
Fury's off. Dan had to take evasive action as well there. Had to hit the brakes because Fury just lost it just as we swapped over to him. So that was a gift for Dan, really.
Yeah.
What was Fury's got it back round really quickly. So he's only lost one position with that spin. but how quickly things can turn around. We thought Fury was comfortable on that, and then next thing you know, it all changes.
The last sector for the Merc, it seems a tricky part of the track, and like you say, a gift for Dan, and the gift it just keeps on giving because it's Christmas, and must be on Santa's nice list as Fury then does a pirouette. Yeah, we're getting closer to December now, so
Well, I'm quite surprised that you've been a little bit quiet on the whole Christmas thing since Donny, really. So for me, you're it's open season now, mate. You can pretty much go for it.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's right. Yeah, it's good. It's cool.
So Fury there then, pirouetting round and loses 3 seconds to Dan. But can he get back on it? Because he's clearly got some good pace at the moment. Then he's not going to do it on the grass there. But Fury then just needs to get his head and just needs to keep it going. Turn 3 is such a tricky corner, the long right-hander, isn't it?
I didn't really find it a problem, to be fair. Turn 2.
To be fair, you're in a nice car that handles quite well. Yeah. You're in something like the Merc, it's a problem.
Yeah, turn 2 was the one for me, and for a lot of other people were complaining about turn 2. Turn 2 is a problem, but in the Renault, turn 3, not too much issue really. Yeah, as I said in the practice, you have to kind of back off and go down a gear, but with the Renault, you can pull it right over to the right hand side and then be on the right line for the next corner. So
Fury was wide there, coming into the same part of the track where he lost it the last lap and had to use a lot of the outside curb, which sometimes can throw the car off a little bit. Now Liam, P6 at the moment, but he's got a bit of damage to the front right hand side of that Merc. You see his headlights missing, the car looks a bit squished up at the front end, and Gary just starting to get onto the back of Liam now. And where does Gary think about making a move? Liam, nice to see him back out there.
Different lines into that corner there.
I find that this whole last sector's got different lines.
The whole thing, the whole thing you can take. See, I never took that line. I took a tighter line to try and get up on the apex as you go around that corner, not run wide. The last corner, various different ones. And as I said, I was listening to you and Dan on the stream last night talking about my entry into that, exit through that corner. And I did adjust my line to try different things to make it work for me. But that last sector, there is various different lines that you can take.
Yes.
It's Dan's in the pits.
Yeah, Dan's in the pits. He's coming out the pits, but Gary's jumped him.
Gary hasn't pitted. Oh,
Gary has pitted. Dan! Dan nearly crossed in the pit
damage,
exit line as well. Well, I don't know. He nearly crossed.
Bit damage.
Has he? Did he touch Fury then? Did Dan touch Fury and spin him round? Did we miss that, or did Dan just take evasive action?
Know.
Has Dan caught the pit wall as he's came into the pits, I wonder?
Well, I mean, again, we've done this many times as Liam. Where are you going? We've done this many times where we've made a presumption on what we can see on track, and it sometimes isn't always the case, is it?
No.
The damage could have been much earlier. We're only now seeing it. Sometimes the game shows us damage when there isn't.
The thing is, though, Kelly, is Gary wasn't really near Dan before the pit stops,
he wasn't.
And Dan didn't lose too much time by Fury spinning. It wasn't like he lost a handful of seconds.
Must have been a very slow pit stop for Dan.
Got to be, because he's 3 seconds behind Gary.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Matt, a standard pit stop is about 6 seconds stationary time. Right?
Yeah.
If you can hit the glitch correctly, you can bring it down to half a second if you do it if it plays ball.
Yeah.
Dan could have had a standard stop. Gary could have had a quick one, and you make 5 seconds all of a sudden. To be fair, they're the two extremes. But it can't be done.
Can be done, but I feel like the gap was a bit bigger than 5 seconds. Gary to Dan before Gary pitted. X-Mark's had a good stop there. Disco as well. Another good stop.
How quick was that?
A lot of good stops coming in here. And who's it? Is this Dan back in? Dan? No. Yeah, Dan's back in.
Yeah, what's happened? What is going on with Dan? He's back in the pits. This is this race ruined now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's gone because Sutty's got the jump on him now. D Biggs has got the jump on him now.
What has happened?
Who else hasn't? Liam's.
Who's that?
Yeah,
Liam?
That's Liam.
Liam
into the pits.
I haven't seen anybody lose it in the pit lane. So it's not picking him up actually, but
it's not picking him up. But Dan's lost out to X-Mark, Disco, D Biggs, Sutty, Gary. You'd imagine that also Little Leach and Fury will get the job done as well. So Dan, still in the pit lane, having a long one. He's coming out now. That's race over for Dan, you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, did Dan have damage on the way out of the pits on the last one? I don't know. I was looking at the stream, seeing if he's put anything up. Why he was stationary, but he hasn't.
No, interesting.
We'll find out.
We will find out. We will get to the bottom of this one then towards the end of the evening. That is for sure. So Fury leads from Little Leach, from Gary, but you'd have to say Gary's net first place here, as Fury's still got to pit. So has Little Leach. BT Targa's back in. Peaceful as well has got to pit as well, as he pitted. Before the pit window, and obviously the rules in the Pro is you've got to pit within the pit window. If you pit early, it's not like the Pro-Am where you can show evidence that you pitted early because you've got major damage. It's because you've got, you've had to do whatever you've had to do. Liam then's just picked up a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well, so he's let go of the limiter too early there, and Liam's night just going a bit bad to worse here, but I mean, it's just nice to see Liam back out on track. I'm sure he's just gaining the experience of getting back behind the wheel.
Absolutely, and it's all a bit of a mystery, but again, it's been gifted back to this man, hasn't it, really?
Has it? We reckon 30-odd seconds, me and Dan said. 30 seconds to 35 for a pit stop.
If it is...
And Gary's going to clear him, and Sutty might clear him.
Yeah. But certainly, I mean, the championship, Fury would have to have divine intervention to win this championship now. But certainly he's in a good position again for a strong result in this race, even if Gary is in net first. But I agree. It's about 30 seconds-ish for a pit stop, and that would put Gary in front of Fury when he comes into the pits.
It would as well, and Sutty not far off the back of Fury when Fury comes into the pits. Go. And is this Fury coming in now? So let's see what Fury does.
Yeah, so
he's
into the pit lane, nice and steady, no real problems. Got it slowed down in plenty of time. But looks at 37. He's on the limiter. Pit crew come out. Gary's time coming down and down.
Little
and down.
Leach into the pits as well.
Little Leach in there as well. Good to see Daft Punk.
Fury's been held. Fury's been held there by Little Leach coming in. So Gary then should get the jump. He's coming down the start straight. It's a long old pit lane. Gary should get the jump. Will Sutty then? The question is Will Sutty 1 second out at 30-second mark to Fury before Fury pitted, but Fury was held in the pits. Fury's coming to the end of the pit lane now. I don't think Sutty's going to get him. No, I don't think he will. Sutty will get Little Leach, though, because there goes the Mercedes that was a lap down. There goes Sutty Apex, and Sutty's on the podium with Gary and Fury then. Little Leach comes out ahead of D-Biggs, so Little Leach has got the jump on No, he hasn't, because D-Biggs has just passed him on the timing screen.
Yeah.
Close, though.
Yeah, D-Biggs. Yeah, it was close. Yeah, very close. D-Biggs back up into fourth. What did happen to Dan? It really is a mystery. We'll have to find that one out. But Gary in first place in that Renault. Look, I said the Renault's good round here.
No, you did, and he's got a 5.5 second lead, so he's really got some time on his side as Gary. And, we're just over the halfway mark of this race now, lap 10 of 18, and Gary can only extend his gap, look, which he is doing at the moment. He's just extending it bit by bit at this minute, and he's going great guns tonight. And we've said this last week, Kelly. I said it to Kieran, that since Donington Park, Gary's second half, since we was at Donington Park in real life, not not in the championship, Gary's form has been fantastic.
But also, I'll throw into that, as the Renault, as the tracks favoured the Renault better, because I've had a better second half of the season, and so has Nicky. So have the tracks favoured the Renault a little bit better?
Yeah, they probably have, but you've got the drivers still got to do the job, haven't they? Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But it's a lot easier when the car helps you out,
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah. So D-Biggs then come out behind Fury and Gary and Sutty, and he's now got Little Leach right on his tail, and that's an interesting line from Little Leach. It's one that's going to lose him time more than gain him, because that curve can be a bit of a nightmare if you run too much of it.
It is, and, it doesn't gain you anything whatsoever. No. You're quite right, nobody chooses to be out there; they just end up out there.
It's one of them curves. It kind of pulls you in, and it's easy to lose the rear when you go over that curve there. Then X-Mart in the background, he'll want to get on the back of this pack. Sutty's going to want to gain the 4 seconds to get onto Fury's pace. Can he do that though? Because Sutty's last lap was 1.1 seconds slower than D-Biggs. So D-Biggs and Little Leach are going to be wanting to gain on Sutty out in front for that final podium spot. And Kelly, just talk us through this a little moment. I'm just going to check. Would this be Biggs' first podium this season?
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. The kind of form that he's had this year has been shocking. It's not, is it not?
He got a 3rd place at round 1 of the season. And that's the only time he's been on the podium this year. So if Biggs was to get on the podium, it would be his 2nd podium of the season. But at the minute, looks like we're going to chalk off another win for the Renault. Lap 11 of 18, and we're coming to the back end of lap 11 of 18. And Fury's got the work to do now. 5 seconds the gap.
Absolutely. And Gary lapping one of the quickest on tracks. Any man lapping faster on the last lap would be Dan. But he's back in 8
BT Targa down
back.
in the 39s, Kelly.
Sorry, 39s. I missed that one. BT Targa. So literally, it's having a look up the inside of D Biggs. You say about D Biggs being on the podium, it isn't done yet. He's in 4th, and Little Leach is giving him hard time in that Renault.
He is indeed, and he's got good run out of here. Keeping a slipstream of D Biggs will be what he wants, and Little Leach putting on a show here on his 100th race start for here at SimPlay Motorsport.
You don't see this often.
You don't see
a Renault
no.
being able to do that very often.
No, you
and
don't.
Believe you me, it felt good.
Mike Matthews into the pits then, so he is pitting then for his mandatory stop now. D-Biggs goes to cover Little Leach off, brakes a lot earlier than the Renault, and you saw the difference there. And look at that, job done on the brakes. Little Leach up to P4. Can he now gap D-Biggs and maybe start to reel in Sutty Apex, who he was half a second quicker on the last lap? Could Little Leach dream of a podium on his 100th start? What a time for him. And what an occasion for the Renault as well. That's 1st and 4th at the minute. He's really having a good night.
Absolutely, but D Biggs hasn't given this one up yet. No, he hasn't. Look at that. Drove right round the inside of him on that turn. But Craig's coming back. Oh, they rubbed doors again. Come on, girls. Let's keep it together. Yeah. But yeah, some good hard racing from these two. D Biggs isn't giving this up easily.
No, he's back up the inside as well, isn't he? And we saw Little Leach go around the outside once on the brakes. Can he do it again? He has, you know. He's just got to keep it up the inside of Biggs. No, can't get that one done. He just had to keep it up the inside there. But Biggs fighting him hard. And did Little Leach give him a bit of a tap up the rear there?
I think there's been a little bit of handbags between these two, hasn't there? You know, and Biggs goes deep through that corner. And this is where the Renault is its absolute best through these corners here. This is where it's absolutely on rails. And I tell you, if this thing performed at every track like it does at Fuji, everyone would be driving a Renault, I tell you. Well, most people would.
Yeah, it's better.
Well, you know, if you had most of the speed and all the handling, well, you know, because it's got to be one of the best handling cars.
Yeah, it's right up there with the Acura and the McLaren, in my opinion, for its handling.
And the Ferrari as well, probably, you know, but it just doesn't have that raw pace. And here at Fuji, for whatever reason, for the wonders of Project Cars, you know, it seems to be.
There goes Little Leach.
A little bit. Yeah, that was optimistic. That one,
he's going to let Biggs.
He's going to give that one back.
Yeah.
The only harm done is they've now, are out of touch a little bit from Sutty.
Yeah, they've also invited ex-Martin onto the back of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit optimistic there, and a little bit clumsy from those two, I would say.
Yeah, indeed. So, but Little Leach pressuring Biggs, and that Renault seems very, very good on its brakes, and that's where Little Leach looks like he maybe could make the most of his race tonight. Although has the damage been dealt to Little Leach, and X-Mart now on the back of him put that Renault under a bit of pressure. What can he do? Fury lapping 8 tenths quicker than Gary on the last lap, and he's only 3.7 off the back of him as they're coming to the end of lap 13 and start the 14th lap. So 5 to go, or 5 and a bit to go, should I say, and Fury starting to make the inroads on Gary.
Yeah, he is starting to reel him in a little bit. Now, is Gary just saving his tyres? Is Fury pushing so hard that he's got a mistake in him? Who knows? But he is starting to reel him in, but it's only 5 laps to go. So Gary will be aware of that. Yeah. And he'll be... as he goes a little bit quicker on his Delta, so as I say, he'll be aware of that. I'll cut back to this battle, D-Biggs, Little Leach and X-Mart, purely because this is the closest battle on track right at the moment. Really nobody else battling with anyone else, so this is the best one at the moment. X-Mart has got towards the back of these guys, so yeah, we could still have some action out of these three, yeah.
Yeah, we could do then, as there is, 5 laps left to go, and it will be interesting to see what happens then here on in as this race keeps going at the moment, but lap 14 of 18, Gary to Fury's 3 seconds. These three are all within a nice little window of each other. Worth noting, Kelly, that the top 6 cannot qualify for race 2 as the 12 people started this race. The top 6 cannot qualify, so that is Gary, Fury, Sutty, Biggs, Little Each and Xmark. Currently Disco, Dan, Monkey Boy, BT, Targa, Peaceful and That Buzzy Boy can qualify for race 2. And Dan, you don't see that one often, do you? Having to qualify in a second race.
Qualify in race 2. No, you don't see that very often. But there you go, even for champions.
Yes, even for champions, they have to qualify for it. We'll have to get Dan in at the end of the night, even if he's not on the podium, obviously, because he's going to become a 2-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport. So we will have to get a word with him at the end of the night, for sure, when it is mathematically confirmed. Obviously, at the minute, Andy is still mathematically able to win the championship, so we will wait till that one is confirmed, as Little Each has brought himself back onto the rear end of D-Biggs.
Now, last night, again, I listened to you guys on the stream, whatever, and I can't remember who the situation was, but
he seems to struggle out that last corner.
He does out the last corner, yeah. Now, you guys were talking about how somebody caught somebody really, really quickly, had they made a mistake. It's just in that last section. You have a couple of bad corners in that last section. You lose so much time so quickly. You can reel someone back in if they're struggling through that final section here at Fuji.
We noticed as well that, Kelly, that that's where well held, but where's Xmart in relation to this now? Not close enough.
Yeah, not close enough to capitalise, unfortunately.
We noticed last night, though, Kelly, that you seem to lose a lot of time being tighter in the corners. Do you reckon that it's worth these drivers being a bit wider on their entries? Because it seemed that when you was trying to chase down, I think it was Joe in race 1 or wherever it was, you just seem to lose too much time being tighter into the corner, trying to make the apex a bit.
Yeah, again, it's a funny old corner, the last one, and I mean, in practice I tried wide lines and tight lines, and I never run wide out of the last turn, so
who's that?
When I was in
practice,
that's Liam. That is. When I was in practice trying to take the wider line, I would end up running wide and doing what Craig's been doing there, Little Each has been doing, and running off track. With a tight line I didn't, so. But when I was following someone, and I mean, I did it with Maze, with Rabbit, and with Welshie. When I took a tight line behind another car, I kind of judged my braking better, if you know what I mean. And then got a more solid run out of this last corner. But it is a tricky one. It really is.
It really is. And we've gone on to lap 16, and Fury's half the gap to Gary, down to 1.5 seconds as they're coming down towards turn 2. He can smell him. He can smell blood. And Gary then... How many races has Gary won this season? I don't actually think he's won a race, has he?
Has he won one?
One race?
One race, hasn't he?
No, he's not won any races this season as Gary, so it would be a first win this season and a chance to pull one back over Fury and Dan over them wins that they've overtaken him by over the races altogether.
So all the race wins for the Renault have been taken by me and Nicky then? I thought Gary or Craig had one.
Gary, Craig. No, they've all been second places. No, they've all been second places. So, yeah, all the race wins in the Renault have been you and Nicky.
Oh, well, there we go. Look. There we go. There's a stat for you.
There is a stat for you. You love a stat, don't you, Kelly?
I love a stat, mate. It's what I live for.
Exactly. That's what we all live for. Fury then just starting to reel Gary in, was over a second quicker last lap. We head down to the penultimate lap of this race, and Fury by just over a second now behind Gary. Liam back into the pits. What a shame. It's just not gone the way he wanted tonight. But I mean, he can treat it as a test session. We know he said he's struggling to race on the wheel. Just feels like he's lost that touch with it, with being at work and things. So just all a test session, isn't it? Get used to the wheel, get used to the settings and the feel again of being back behind the car.
This sim racing can be a bit of a dark art. If you're not doing it all the time, you do lose a little bit of the touch.
Xmart's past Little Each. I'm just noting on the timing screens, Kelly.
Yeah, hasn't he?
So where's he got that one done then? So Xmart to 5th.
Has Craig made a bit of a mistake? Has he had a bit of and a bit of a mistake, or what?
Potentially. I mean, he's got 2 laps to get back ahead of Xmart, and Xmart then, I mean, 5 seconds off of Big. So I wonder if they've both kind of had a mistake somewhere, because Big seems like he's way in front of Xmart and Little Each now. Sutty in no man's land, as is Disco. Dan's up to 8th ahead of Monkey Boy then, and Dan, I think he's only going to get 8th because 12 seconds behind Disco. I don't think Dan's going to do that. BT, he's some 12 seconds off of Monkey Boy, but with 2 laps to go, that's going to be some tough work for him. But it's Gary Fury, 1.6 seconds the gap. Who's going to take this one?
Bit, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Gary's putting a 39.8 on the last lap, so that's a cracking good lap. Maybe Gary's just picked his pace up a little bit. You know, race win's a race win, and I'm sure Gary would like to put that notch on the bedpost for the Renault. You know,
I think as well for Gary here, this is a step in the right direction if you're in the Renault. And all right, he's probably not going to say, "Oh yeah, he had a good back half that season. We'll keep it for next year." But he's gained a couple of tenths in that last sector, and 2 seconds the gap now. Has that done enough for Gary then to just maybe be able to say, "I've got this race win in the bag"? But I mean, motorsport's a funny old game, and it has a weird way of biting you in the arse. Gary then has 1 lap to go. Do not count his chickens just yet, because Fury will not say never on this final lap.
This time last night on race 2, I was in 2nd place. By the time I got to the end, I was in 5th. So, you know, it can all turn around really, really quickly. The Fury with flashing lights, I don't know what that was for. There might just been something on screen. But, you were saying that you're not expecting Gary to say, we'll keep the Renault. None of us who have the Renault ever want to see it again, to be fair. You know, but, it's had its moments where it's given us some good results, and it's been good as gold. But as I said, myself, Nicky, and I can pretty much speak for Gary and Craig, I don't think any of us want to see it back again. Fury a bit
he's just
squirrely out
it was
of that
all
one,
over the curbs on the exit, wanted, and he's lost 6 tenths here, so maybe that is all she wrote. As Disco then coming down, he's now cut all Little Each, he's got some damage. So
10
then
seconds behind
on his 100th appearance, is he going to drop out the top 6 and going to have to qualify for race 2? What a shame the ending's not gone the way Craig was hoping, because he was at one stage looking like he could have got on the back of Sutty. He's now trying to hold on to that 6th place and being able to qualify for the 2nd race of the evening. But do not begrudge this man anything, because what a performance his first race has been for Gary 131 is at round 21 here at Fuji. The 2 times champion, who's going to be tied on 2 championships with Dan in just a moment tonight, is going to take his first win of the season. And what a long season it's been. It's going to be a long old flash, because the line takes forever to come up here.
Yeah.
But that's going to be Gary's first win of the season. It's also going to be Gary's 17th win overall. Fury then will come home for a P2, and a very good P2. Maybe should have won that race, but dropped it early doors. Sutty, there's probably not a more popular podium person than Sutty right now, as he's going to come across for a P3. And he came on air tonight, came in the party, didn't he? And he went, I've done no practice for this track, but it's come away with a P3. D Biggs, nice to see him back up there with a solid P4. Actually outdoing Dan this season, and you can't say too much of that this year, can you either? But up on P4. Xmart in the background. He's going to come across for a P5. That's 2 P5s in a row for Xmart. Disco then has got past Little Each at the end, so he's going to come across for a P6. He now cannot qualify in the next race. Little Each will take a P7. Dan then is going to come home for a P8. It just all went wrong for Little Each at the end. It all went wrong for Dan somewhere. We don't know where or what, but it went wrong for Dan at some point. Monkey Boy then, he looks like he's going to come home for a P9. He's well ahead of BT Targa, but again, another night where the GQ Motorsport Mercedes-Benz have struggled. They got caught up in carnage at the start, and just more nights where they just haven't worked their way through the pack.
No, you're quite right, and hopefully they'll have a stronger next race. Their luck's got to change sooner or later. BT, what could have been for BT? He started off so strong, got tied up in some first lap stuff, and it went wrong from there, really.
It did. Fastest lap. Dan?
In the only man in the 38s by the looks of it.
Dan, 38.9. Oh, Liam was 10 seconds away from being disqualified.
Yeah, he was like 50 points, 50 seconds added. Oh my gosh.
So Gary then wins from Fury from Sooty Apex. D-Biggs, X-Mart, Disco McDisco Face, they cannot qualify for that second race. Little Leech said is in P7 with Dan down in 8th place. Monkey Boy BT Targa, Peaceful Explosion, and then that Bozzy Boy who just gets to three-quarter distance. Now, before we just go to the break, the three-quarter distance next season means nothing. You score points no matter how many laps down you are. What it does mean, though, is if you retire from a race, even if you're a lap down and think, well, I'm going to retire, you are actually worse off. You lose every point and do not gain a point. You cannot you cannot retire next season because you do not score a point. Unless it's like internet disconnection or family emergency or things like that, you have to have the right proof, don't you, that there's this stuff that's gone on.
Absolutely, the powers that be have put this in place as one of the rules for next year, or the format for next year, purely to stop a little bit of tantrum quitting, as I like to call it. To kind of stop that, really.
We're going to be back in 5 minutes, then, as Dan does a Charles Leclerc and says, I am stupid in the chat. We'll be back in 5 minutes with the driver interviews and qualifying too. Don't go anywhere. Liam's not racing race 2. For fuck's sake.
Is he not?
No. I'm not going to sound bad, but not doing race 2 as I feel like I'm too unsafe on track and they took so many people out of that race. I mean, Gary also texted me saying, get that fucking idiot off track, so I presume that's in relation to Liam.
That could be anybody.
Could have been Dan. Don't want to name names, do you? Where are we then? I bet they're all appearing offline, aren't they? For fuck's sake. Yeah, no worries, mate.
Well, yeah, it didn't really hurt until I moved it. Shit, I really shouldn't have fell down those stairs, should I? We're off thingy, aren't we?
Yeah, we're off there. Yep.
Yeah. Fury's pole, second place lap was out of track limits on the last corner.
What for?
I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't. No, actually, I didn't.
No, he was out of the track limits on the last corner when he went into the lap that he put it in second place.
Right. Okay.
Get that idiot off the fucking track, will you?
Who are you on about? I did text you back.
Sorry, mate, I wasn't on there.
Not you ball bag.
Who are you on about?
Fucking Liam the cock.
Yeah, he's
quit for the next one.
Racing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. He literally, I thought, oh, Fury, Liam's going to make it hard for me, obviously, hold me up for Fury. He went wide, I went past him, and he just come back onto the track and whacked me up the arse. I lost about 2 seconds to him.
Yeah. Mate, Renault's different round here, isn't it?
Yeah, to be fair, I do like this track as well, probably helps.
Didn't you?
Well,
I'm sure you came back to this track after you had your knee up, or was this one you missed with your knee up? I can't remember.
I missed it, I believe.
But don't you think it's bizarre that down the main straight that it can actually hold with other people?
You are?
Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Informative conversation, thanks.
I don't think he heard you, Kelly.
No, I didn't hear. Sorry. What did you say?
I said, don't you think it's odd that this that the Renault down the long straight is really quite competitive down the long straight on this track?
It is, to be fair. No,
It's
Fury
weird,
weren't
isn't it?
gaining that much, to be fair.
No. No, it's actually quite. I actually thought it was quite pleasant to drive last night.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's all right.
You're good,
Not
Sutty,
going to
you
keep the
are.
fucking thing.
Nah.
He said.
You're good, you are.
Stable settle.
Another fucking
Put
podium.
brake
You know,
ducts in.
what did you say when you come into the party earlier? Oh, I've not tested this week. Bang, P3.
Sandbagger.
You know what I mean?
My quickest, no, Kelly, my quickest lap was a 1:45, and every lap was a 41:1, 41:2. Slow, but consistent.
I done half a lap practice before I come on, and then the missus too was done, so I had to serve that up for her.
How is the missus?
Yeah, she's all right.
That's Littleham.
Probably asleep now.
Probably asleep.
She's asleep. She's got the darts on. She's asleep.
What's that? The missus
What
on
happened,
Linton?
what happened to your bro at the end?
He spun 2 laps on the trot in the same place.
Ah,
He weren't very happy.
I can imagine.
I'm going to pop to Lou. I'll be back.
Yeah, there is, bud.
Okay.
Well done, Fury.
Mate, I'm not.
Where's discount?
Oh, I tell you what, though, I liked Big C's rejoin. Was interesting. What it meant.
Yes, that's. I just put Biggs plus Sutty lap 4 race 1 question mark in my notebook.
I'm not bothered, but I thought.
No, it was caught on stream, so I'll look at it for the stewards. But yeah, that one was a big.
And then Liam, you know when you were in the pits, Fury.
Yeah.
Liam did you a massive favour. He span right in front of me and just parked it on like just the outside of the apex where I wanted to be. So I cut tight. I lost myself about 3 seconds.
I get the feeling here that Liam's been quality tonight.
Otherwise, I'd have been a roadblock in front of you for probably half a lap till you got past me.
Are we sure we don't want Liam back for race 2?
Only if you take Fury out this time and not me. Fucking twat. Did
You had
see him
some
do that?
pace there, Fury.
I just said to him, I was like, can you hold him up a bit? And then all of a sudden he was
see
like,
what
yeah,
he
I'll
done?
try. And then all of a sudden, boof, into the side of you. I'm like, stay there, stay there. And he
mate.
starts pulling towards me. I'm like, stay there.
He's a fucking penis. I thought he'd run wide to let me through, but I thought, nah, that's a bit odd. And then he just literally sideswiped me. I was like, oh, brilliant.
I come back into the room to hear Joe going at 300 octaves there, fucking ranting about what I presume is Liam.
Joe? Joe? Joe who?
Yeah, Joseph Bates, you twat.
Joseph Bates.
Oh, fuck yeah, his name's Joe, innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I thought you were on about Rabbit Joe. Fucking
No. Wrong
no,
Joe.
Yeah, Fury. Yeah.
I say to Liam, can you hold Gary up a little bit? Because I had a little twitch and everything. And then he goes and sideswipes him and spins himself around and almost.
Wow.
just
That's a
falls in front of
teammate
me.
for you, isn't it? Taking one for the team.
No, he would have taken none for the team if he had continued pulling in front of me.
Were you trying to the last 2 laps, by the way?
Last 2 laps, I don't even want to talk about that. Literally, last corner on the last lap, I come out of the corner and then clip the outside curb and it shoots me across and I just get 20 engine damage with 30 suspension and nothing else.
Brilliant.
I know.
What happened to Dan? Because he pitted twice. Anybody know?
I know.
No idea.
Did he hit you when you span?
No, he narrowly missed me.
Right.
But then, I think he pitted that lap, didn't he?
Yeah. That lap or the lap after.
So what happened?
I was coming past him and he was facing the wrong way in the entrance of the pits.
Oh,
You've done
so
it in the pits,
when
then?
you said earlier, Kelly, that Liam's the only person you've seen spin in the pits, Dan's done it as well.
Well, no, that's not strictly true.
No, he must have got damaged because he pitted again for a long time after to repair the damage.
I'm not sure because he was coming in. I knew he was coming in because I could see him braking, and as I went past him, I seen his car facing the wrong way. He just stopped.
Must have done it in the pit lane. How do you spin in the pit lane? It's a bit tricky one, isn't it?
I've done it.
Oh, well, you would have.
You could do anything.
I've done that. Haven't you called it on stream? We doing that, Matt?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're off.
Caught you done some funny things on stream all the time, Sutty, though, to be fair.
Well, yeah, but we shouldn't go into that, should we?
No, like it in Mexico.
Yeah, because I think they might be illegal. Certainly indecent.
By the way, Gary, what was with the added Interlagos to the F1 race? I thought you'd have wanted Kota.
Nah, I like Interlagos.
What about Vietnam?
Vietnam's not on the new game anymore.
Oh shit! I need to buy it then. I didn't like Vietnam, did I?
Hence why the things was Emil Algarve Jeddah, because the 3 new tracks on F1 game.
Mind you, the price want to come down before I buy it. Do you know, I bought it on disc and I didn't realise my disc drive had packed up on me.
Oh, that's what's happened to me. I had it. I'm the same.
Oh.
Well, it works, the disc drive, but it only works when I get one CD in. Then I have to leave that CD in for many, many days. So I've got golf in at the minute.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
Going live on when it goes to the pits, by the way.
When we're going live?
When it goes to the pits.
Yeah, make sure you unmute it.
What now?
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the second race of the evening here at SimPlay Motorsport, and it's at round 22 and there's only 3 rounds left. We've got the top 3 in the commentary box for an interview, but quickly, just before we say that, Dan has mathematically won the title and is a 2 times champion, just like Gary 131. He idolises Gary, wants to be exactly like him, so he's won the championship twice. It's now impossible for Andy, because Andy's not here for this second race. Andy cannot do anything to turn that one around. So by the end of race 2, Dan would have the championship wrapped up. Fiori still sits in P3. BT Targa 4th, but Gary has closed that gap to 14 points between himself and BT Targa. Sooty Apex still in 6th place. He pulls away from Disco and Xmart, who are 7th and 8th. D-Biggs and Little Each swap around. They're a point separated. And Peaceful still 11th and Monkey Boy 12th, as Little Each here comes round turn 2 and goes straight into the wall. We've lost Liam from this race. He's only now on 11 points, and it is now a 2-horse race, Shake and Bake versus Slingshot Motorsport for the Constructors' title then. And Peaceful Explosion gets this qualifying out the way. Provided he starts the next race, will make his 100th race start here at SimPlay Motorsport, and will join the likes of DJ Phil Green and Little Each on the number 100. But we'll go to a man who's not yet made his 100th start. He's only on 74, 75 in just a moment, but he's taken another 3rd place this season. And Sooty, you've just casually gone about your business, haven't you, tonight?
Yeah, I wasn't confident at all, especially when I didn't qualify and ended up 10th, I think. But just managed to plug away and be consistent. Other people made mistakes in front of me, and I think that's why I got the 3rd. It wasn't on pace, I don't think.
How was the Lamborghini, though, out there? Because we saw Welsh have a good night in it last night. How was yourself tonight? How do you find it out there? Obviously, like you've just said, not running the quickest of setups, but consistent.
It didn't feel too bad, yeah, just consistent. Certain places I wanted to push, I couldn't really. I was fighting quite a bit of understeer. But, like I said, it just seemed to be nice and stable. Right, I'd practice. That could have been a lot quicker, I think.
We've seen you a lot in race 2s do a bit better than race 1s, because you just tweak a few bits in that first part, in this mid-session break. Are we going to expect a bit more from you in this second race?
I don't know, I'm tweaking a few things and we'll see what happens, but you know me, Matt, it could go either way. Yeah,
it could be all or nothing, I suppose. What can you do then, race 2, Sooty, realistically?
Just, I think, a bit the same as trying to stay out of trouble and just be consistent. Might not be the quickest, but it seems to be good for results, so see what happens.
Well, we'll let you get back to it, buddy. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Oh, I'd just like to say congratulations to Dan as well. Congratulations to Gary and Fury.
Well done, well said, Sooty. And speaking of Fury, we'll jump to him now. And it wasn't to be race win number 20, but a second place. You got the lead nicely from Dan, but made the mistake to drop down to second.
Yeah, it was more towards the tyres. They just went off completely, and then me spinning, I think I spun twice. And the second one completely just ruined the tyres. I had no rear grip, just the back end was sliding everywhere. It was quite bad.
Gary got the jump on you in the pits. Did you think 5 seconds when you come out of the pits was enough for you to close the gap at the end and do him, or was it just bring the car home?
I knew that if I could try and keep it at least like towards the 39 deads, then I might have caught him by the end. But then obviously the Merc and that last sector with the Renault. Oh my god, Renault shot out of the last corner.
Is that where you're losing a lot of time to Gary tonight then in that final sector?
Yeah, definitely.
What can you do race 2 then, buddy, to get that final step, to get that 20th race win?
Hopefully just keep it clean, consistent, try not to make any mistakes, and just push through the pack.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, buddy. We'll see you
Good luck, mate.
And we got Gary in, who's taking his 17th race win. He did have the most race wins before season 3 and 4 started. He's now sort of had to settle for 4th on that list, but he's also put the Renault above the Ginetta on all-time race wins. That was pretty well done from yourself to say qualified 8th.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I made a couple of setup changes after quali. It was alright. It seemed to come better in the second half of the race and was consistent for a change. So yeah, all good really.
You look like you had good pace out there as well. Like you say, you stayed out of trouble at the beginning of the race. You got the jump on Fury in the pits. Did that surprise you?
To be fair, I looked at the leaderboard before Fury had pitted, and my teammate had got within about 3 seconds of him, and he said he was struggling, so I thought just keep my head down and we'll see what will be, and luckily I pipped him. So. Yeah.
Was you surprised not to see Dan up the order for a change?
To be fair, I weren't really paying attention to what was going on in the race between anyone else, and yeah, I looked at the leaderboard and saw he weren't there, and obviously realised he had a mistake, so yeah, and then he pitted again, so yeah, that's how it goes in all bad races.
Now, we've said obviously the last couple of weeks that the Renault seems to have got stronger as the season's gone on. It feels like you've got stronger in the Renault as well. Is it changing your mind about keeping the Renault next season?
100% no.
Right.
But I am starting to enjoy it. I am starting to enjoy it, to be fair.
It isn't half bad round Fuji, is it? It's kind of all right round Fuji, and I didn't get the opportunity to race it at Sakito, but I did some practice, and I thought it wasn't too bad there either. But I agree with Gary. They're going to be lined up like scrappers next year, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. I'll send mine too if you like. You can have 2 of them.
Oh, I'm fine, mate. You can have mine.
Going into this second one, then Gary, you start P10. What can you do from there?
I'm just going to enjoy it and hopefully have some good racing. I had some good racing with a few drivers in that last race, and yeah, it'll be the last one I enjoy because next week is horrendous for me. So.
Well, we'll let you get back to it, buddy. Best of luck.
Lovely. Cheers, mate, and
cheers.
Well done down on your championship.
Yeah, well said, buddy. Well said. Best luck for Gary then, and Fury and Sooty Apex going forward into that one. And well, the reverse grid's been pretty much set. We just wait for the top 5 to qualify now. So we know Liam, we all were waiting the top 5 to qualify, and Dan then Kelly, 2-time champion.
Yeah.
What can we say? What can we say about this man this season?
Yeah, I mean, he's, again, I'm biased. I've always thought he's brilliant, to be fair. So, but yeah, he's had fantastic form. Do you know what? And not to kind of to jump out of the moment too much, but good God, there's going to be a great season next year, isn't it?
Oh, isn't there just going to be a great season next year? Peaceful starting his 100th race. We've had Dan 21 races this season. 6 wins this season, 5 pole positions. You know, he's raced on the pad at Zolder when he was, after his operation that he's had to have and overcome that difficulty. And I got the pleasure of meeting Dan this year, and as well as Gary as well, the 2-time champs. Yeah. And you know what? He thoroughly deserves it this season because, Andy's pushed him hard and Fury's pushed him hard, but I think Dan's just had the edge in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean, they say form is temporary and class is forever. He has both. Do you know what I mean? He's got class, but he's also on brilliant form right at the moment. And Andy's pushed him hard, for sure. And I really do hope Andy comes back for next season.
It takes something special, Kelly, to beat him. We saw Gary, 2-time champ, back-to-back season 1 and 2, and it took Dan something special season 3, and it was a hard battle with him and Gary that gave Dan his first championship. that's what's kind of got to happen again here, Ant. It's got to take something special to, like you say, beat the man that is on form, and that is what Dan is. He's not had great races all season. You know, there's been races where Dan has been relatively lucky to pick up some extra points. You know, you look at tonight for an example, but he's done the job, and when you're in that kind of form, things start to go your way, don't they?
Absolutely, and I mean, he's been helpful with others as well. He hasn't been, hasn't been arrogant about it. He's helped a lot of people with their setups. He's with done some driver coaching, so on and so forth, and been an all-round good guy. But again, I would have said that if he was last, But you've got to look at his stats and his form, haven't you?
You have, and we cannot wait for next season to get going, because like I say, with the drivers that are lined up at the moment and things that could be happening, Dan's got some hard work to defend his title, especially with Gary coming out of that Renault, and with what is rumoured that Gary and Little Leach could be going back in. You just know Gary will be back at his best, so he's got to work.
I think Dan's going to relish the challenge. To be fair,
100%.
I think he's a racer. Oh, I know he's a racer. I've seen him race real life championships in BMX and take championships. He loves the competition. I think he's going to relish the challenge. Do you know what I mean? I think he's going to. I think if he has a good season and ends up third overall, as long as he's had he's given it his best shot, I think he'll be happy with that, to be fair.
Same here. So it's Dan at the minute who is going to be on pole for his 6th pole of the year, and it's not many times Dan could take a back-to-back pole like this, but he's got the opportunity now with the fact he's got to qualify again. In fact, Dan will be on pole because everybody then has pitted. BT Targa will line up P2 alongside him in this one. Then Monkey Boy will qualify 5th. Peaceful on his 100th race will start 3rd on the grid. Little Leach will start P4, but it is going to be Dan who's going to take a 6th pole of the season, and to tie Andy on 6 pole positions this season, it gives another one to the Porsche, but it's Dan then who goes to 12 pole positions and becomes it has the 3rd most poles over in total here at SimPlay Motorsports. Another one for the Porsche that takes it one closer.
Look, he's hamming it up, look, isn't he, eh?
Yeah.
He's not over yet, come on.
24 poles then for the Porsche in the Pro Series. It's now one behind the Lamborghini altogether, and it's Dan on pole then for a 6th time this season, and back-to-back pole positions for the first time. I don't remember many champions having to do this in one night, take back-to-back pole positions and win the title. But BT Targa on the front row with Dan only 3 tenths off the back, 4 tenths behind his Peaceful Explosion in his 100th race. Little Leach in P4 with Monkey Boy P5 then. No Liam, so then Disco gets 6th place then with the first of the non-qualifiers, with Sutty 7th, Fury in 8th, X-Mart 9th, Gary 10th, D-Biggs then qualifies last and 11th place overall. Kelly, who's your tip for the race win?
Who knows? I did this last time and I was completely wrong.
Well, should we tell the viewers, just before we get into your pick, why Dan had to pit twice?
Yes, we found out that Dan is so stupid that he spun it in the pit lane, apparently, and obviously damaged the car, spin it in the pit lane. That's why he lost so much time and why he had damage. And obviously, he would have not been set up to repair that damage, being that he'd got damaged in the pit lane. So we believe. Who's your race winner, Kelly? Fury.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go Gary.
No, BT.
I'm gonna go. Do you know what? I'm going to go Peaceful, 100th appearance.
I was thinking about Peaceful as well.
That's
ruined. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
Ruined.
You're going to go off at turn 1. Apologies for that one.
Yeah, probably get rolled over like you did on the last one.
But congrats on the 100th races. On the 100th race.
Yeah. So now we've kind of said all that. It'll probably be
Gary.
Win.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So they line up for the... and we're about to sync up, actually, so we're about ready to go. Matt, would you like to take us through the first?
I would like to take us through the honours. 3 red lights come on, and for the 22nd time this season, it's green, it's go. One of the GQ Motorsport Mercedes-Benz did not get away well, but Little Leach and Peaceful Explosion have launched off the line. So did BT Targa, who's already attacking down up the inside into turn 1, and BT gets that inside line job done. Peaceful forced around the outside, but can't make any ground up. Little Leach tucks into 3rd place, and Disco and Gary already battling with Peaceful Explosion then all through turn 1 pretty cleanly. D Biggs under pressure, Dan under pressure from Little Leach, who was side by side, they're not anymore, and Peaceful's just going backwards a little bit here, but has at least made turn 3 without rolling around the corner. Dan trying to come back underneath BT Targa, into the left hander they go. BT will have the inside line, can Little Leach following through. Dan takes that wide line and somehow keeps the pace, and all relatively clean through this first half of the lap.
Yeah, but this is where the pinch point down at this chicane, this is where it can all go wrong really, really quickly. Dan all over the back of BT like a cheap suit. He's going down the inside. He's got to get it slowed down. BT's standing his ground. No, he's not.
Gary!
Gary going all over the shop, and a lot of people going wide there. A lot of fuss going on. Fury in that one, and Biggs and all sorts going on back there. I said that was the pinch point, didn't I?
You did, yes. Dan then gets back in front, but Little Leach is trying to go around the outside of BT Targa, and I think he's made that one stick. So he'll have the inside line then at the final corner. And Fury said in the interviews that this is where the Renault was in a world of its own, especially out this last corner in Gary's hands. Disco then up to P4 at the minute. We've not seen much of Disco tonight, but he's currently running 4th and on the back of BT Targa. Dan then leads this race. Little Leach in his 101st outing is up into P2. Peaceful, bless him, he's gone back, but look at the pack. Sooty, Peaceful, Gary, Biggs, Monkey Boy, Fury and X-Mart sort of sit and watch, because this could be carnage going into turn 1. Look at the Mercedes and the Porsche and the Renault. The Renault's not being dropped at all here, and Biggs is making this 3 wide into 1. Monkey Boy breaks early, Gary shoots around the outside, Peaceful as well, I think got out of that, and Fury's made up a place, if not 2 there, through the others early braking and not wanting to be 3 wide.
Yes, indeed, that was great into there. As look at this lot, all as they come through turn 2 here, the tricky turn 2. That's the bollard gone, and Sooty's starting to pull away from this lot as they start to scrap over the positions here. All basically fighting for last, really.
Pretty much, but Gary went underneath Peaceful and Fury's followed him through. Gary just giving Biggs a bit of a tap up the rear there. Oh, and that's Disco. Disco's had a moment, yeah, he's had a spin.
He can't blame that one on the boogie.
Can blame it on the moonlight, maybe, though.
Not the sunshine.
Definitely not. As Gary then, on the back of Biggs, gave him a bit of a tap up the rear and down into where it all gets juicy and exciting. They all single file get through there without making contact, and Peaceful now just slowly dropping further back. He's down to P8. Sooty, like you said, just gapping these ever so slightly. Who's that last monkey round? Yeah, and Fury spending more time looking at the back of Gary.
Yes, indeed. That's what he was doing the last race, and it's exactly the same, but this time it's for 7th and 6th and 7th this time, but we got a long way to go yet. Don't worry about it. We've got a long way to go. As Gary gets a good run. Yeah. Good run out of that last corner. He's having a sniff at Biggs now.
He's pulled out, and this is where you'll see if the Renaults are slouching a straight line, and look, it's not, because it's actually pulled just in front of the Porsche a little bit. It doesn't, but this is where the Porsche will start to come back. But Gary gets a good launch. Fury getting a good run as well. Is he going to go to the inside? He is, and he's going to make this one 3 wide, and Biggs has got out of that early, and Fury into turn 1, and he has made contact with Sooty, which has also forced Gary wide.
Oh dear, yeah. I didn't quite catch the angle of that one. I think Fury went in quite an acute angle there, but I don't want to assign any blame without seeing it properly. Yeah, a little bit clumsy there, unfortunately.
Day late and $1 short, if you ask me, as Sooty was already midway around the corner. Sooty then loses out to D Biggs. Fury actually gave the place back to Sooty and Gary, I do believe. I didn't quite see where Fury went. He has lost out to Peaceful as well, though, as Fury, so he's dropped down to P8 now.
I think he was kind of in the hedge a little bit, in the wall a little bit, to be fair. But
I'm just watching it back now, actually. Yeah, he was kind of just recovering. Must have had like a bit of a half spin out of turn 1. Gary looking around the outside, though, with Sooty down at the bottom hairpin and can't get that one done, although they're side by side here. And Gary having a bit of a race here with Sooty Apex.
Yes, indeed. As up front, we hadn't seen it on stream, but BT's in front of Little Leach. Or was he in front anyway? I don't know. But
no, them two have swapped back.
Yeah, they've swapped back, and Let's have a quick look and see how they're getting on. Yeah, look, Little Leach is keeping BT honest at the front, but the real race is Fury. Well, X-Mart really, X-Mart, Fury, Peaceful, Gary, Sooty, D Biggs, all like fourth, back to almost last.
Yeah, and what a good battle this has been at the minute, because we've seen him 2 wide, 3 wide, nearly 4 wide at some points as we come down the straight again. Gary was in the slipstream of Sooty. Is he going to outbreak him as they come to turn 1? He's just pulling out now, and is the Sooty going to be sent? Is Sooty going to have one sent on him? Yes, he is. And Peaceful might have a look up the inside. No, he doesn't. He tucks it behind Sooty and thinks about that one another day. Gary then hunts down after D Biggs, and can Gary do anything about Biggs? Gary's got that Renault hooked up tonight.
Yes, he has. Although his brother's doing a great job of holding on to the back of that Porsche BT Targa. As Dan's kind of gapped him a little bit by 2.5 seconds as we're into lap 4.
He's got to pit yet, though.
Who's got to pit?
Dan's got to pit yet. We know how much of a trouble that was in race 1.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm sure he won't make the same mistake twice on that one, but hey, you never know. But this seems to be the battle now. Biggs is just keeping this lot at bay, and while they're tripping over each other, this is just keeping Biggs a little bit in front of these guys. Not a lot, but a little bit. But they are the front 3 have gapped this lot.
Yeah, the front 3 have gone, and then it's kind of Biggs. Bit of a gap back to Gary, who's just forming a gap to Sooty. Then you've got Sooty, Peaceful, Fury. Bit of a gap to X-Mart, and then Disco as well, only a couple of seconds behind X-Mart, so he's trying to come back. Fury said that the Merc compared to this last sector of the Renault is awful, and you see Peaceful's rear end just sliding around there, and Fury having to be so patient before he gets on the power, because Peaceful's there. Peaceful's looking up the inside of Sooty, can't get it done. Fury takes that wide look in and looks for an undercut, and what a move from Fury then. Just textbook, trying to get underneath Peaceful Explosion, and does that just beautifully as we start lap 5. And are we seeing Gary, Fury and Sooty pitting?
As we get an opportunity to go on board there as we come into the pits with Fury, as you can see that all these guys going into the pits. That's Gary, Sooty and Fury. We'll stay on board with Fury.
X-Mart's got himself a penalty. He's coming to the pits and spared. X-Mart then's got himself a penalty. Has Gary gone? Wow, good stop from Gary. He's jumped Sooty. Well. Fury is as well. Yes. What stops? Good stops.
And that's why they win in lap 4. Probably got the glitch worked out. I hate that term. We have got to come up with a better term than that. But as you see, Fury's on his way out. He's jumped one, but he's lost pace to the other. So Gary's had a cracking good stop.
Yeah, Gary's stop was particularly good. X-Mart jumped Sooty as well. Now, was that because Sooty was being held? I'm not sure if it was because Sooty was being held by Gary and then Fury that X-Mart got out in front of Sooty. But X-Mart has a time penalty to his name. Disco and Monkey Boy as well have pitted. So half the field then have pitted. The top 5 yet to pit. But this releases Biggs to try and hunt down Little Leach. It also releases Peaceful to try and hunt down D Biggs. Gary, the leader of the pit guys that have pitted, and don't forget, we reckon about 30 seconds, 25 to 30 seconds for a pit stop if it's blinding like Gary's was. And Gary's 37 away from Dan, so is Gary looking for an undercut maybe on unorthodox? That'll be some big undercut, won't it?
That would be a massive undercut. My gosh, that would be like a butcher made that kind of cut. You know, that would be crazy. But as you said, Dan's got a pit yet.
Yes, and the sun shines on the dogs are Sunday.
And you can't educate pork.
You cannot educate pork. That is a fact.
Educate pork. No. I'm quite right on that fact.
There's X-Mart there then, just deep. Yeah, very deep, and that's allowed Sooty through then as Biggs comes into the pits.
Tell him twice, do you?
No, you don't. Biggs comes into the pits, as then does Peaceful. So Peaceful follow it, doing the 1 lap extra then coming in. Now, how good a stop's Peaceful going to have? Biggs has had a hell of a stop. Will Gary be able to get that one? I'm not too sure. Gary's rounded the final corner. Peaceful's not had the best. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's not as good as everybody else's. Yeah, it's better than an ordinary pit stop. Now, has Peaceful jumped Gary? Has Gary got the jump on Biggs? Gary hasn't jumped Biggs, no, because Biggs is off the limiter now and is away. Has Gary jumped Biggs, actually? You say this.
Well, I think he might have done, you know.
Yeah, I think he has. Late on the brakes, round the outside.
No,
not quite. Cut back, maybe?
Close one. Very
close. Gary's a lot closer to Biggs than what he was before he pitted.
Yes, indeed. He has certainly brought the gap down, and this Renault is, as I say, for what reason, I don't know.
It seems to be like the BMW at Red Bull. That was scary good round Red Bull, and the Renault seems to be the same round here. It seems really good.
It does, doesn't it? And I mean, this game has got a couple of glitches like that, hasn't it? Things that should be as they aren't in certain places.
Yeah.
And this Renault is as slow as evolution itself normally. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know something though?
Here,
I tried the Z4 the other day.
Yeah.
I think the GT5s was quicker. I was doing laps around here, and I put a setup in as well and tweaked the setup, and I was I was running like back end of Pro Am pace, and I was flat out chucking that Z4 around this track, and it was like back end of Pro Am pace. But we've got three little battles going on here: Biggs to Gary, Fury and Peaceful, and Sooty and X-Mart. Then, as Fury was a bit slippy and slidey coming into this part of the track, Dan, BT, and Little each yet to pit. And three little battles developing then. Disco and Monkey Boy kind of on their own, but early doors still in this race. As Gary, what launch has he got out that final corner? Nobody has pitted this time around.
No, indeed. So the top guy's going a little bit longer than the guys who've already pitted, obviously. Trying to go a bit longer. But as I say, it is strange going back to this Renault. I mean,
wow!
Whoa, that was a send it. Has he made it stick? No, he hasn't. Just
he's made the apex. He made the apex. That was some late braking from Gary there. Wow, that was different. Wow, that was Yeah,
I mean, we do know that the Renault is good at brakes. That is one thing it is good at, is on the brakes, and kind of normally. So you can brake late in this car. But as you say, he made the apex. So and he's got the inside line.
He has got the inside line, not the run out the corner though.
No, he hasn't got the traction out the corner.
I tell you what, chuck one up the inside here, late on the brakes, hairpin corner here.
Yeah, we'll keep on with this one just for a moment, see what.
Look at the closing speed of the Renault on the brakes. And we saw it last night with yourself to one of the Mercedes. I think it was Rabbit Joe Race 2. Just the amount you could gain under the brakes. And Gary's showing the same here with the Porsche. That the Renault, although it's slow in a straight line, you put it on a track where the Renault can outbrake some cars, and it really has. Is in its world of its own, isn't it? It's kind of in its own league, in the GT3 class. Now, is Gary going to look for an undercut at the final corner?
Needs to stay with him. This is a good opportunity. If he gets right in the slip, which he has, he's followed him all the way round the last corner and he's in the slip. Can he make it work this time? And this is the kind of view I had of back end of Mercedes all evening. Yes. And a little bit of a Lamborghini, but I had like that close.
What's happened? Sorry, Kelly. What's happened to Peaceful? He's dropped down to P9. He's still on the back of X-Mart. Gary up the inside of D. Biggs on the brakes, late as you dare, and up the inside P4. Two-time champ Gary 131, and that's why he's a champ. He's got that experience of braking later, and that is what brings him in a car that it shouldn't really be competitive. That's why he's as good as he is, because he can pull that off in the background. And we said Peaceful had dropped behind Sooty and X-Mart. Them three are really close. In fact, Peaceful looking round the outside of X-Mart on his 100th race. He's having a bit more of a race with people in this one, and I'm sure he'll appreciate that. There's contact made. I think X-Mart was losing the car already. I'm just watching back.
So hard.
Yeah.
Some light flashing. Looks all friendly enough. Kind of light flashing, but turn two, so easy to lose the car. So I lost places last night, and it looks like that's what's happened this time. But just go back.
Mark's dropped it. Mark's dropped it again. So that's allowed Peaceful through. It's also gave Sooty a bit of breathing space then, and Fury trying to now reel the back of these two in luck.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fury on a mission. He's the only man in the 39s at the moment, trying to get these guys back in. Just quickly going back to Gary's overtake on Biggs. They're the moments you drive for. When you pull off overtakes like that, that's, and those moments, well, certainly for some drivers they happen more often than others, do you know what I mean? But when they happen, that's when you just feel great about yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it shows the class, doesn't it, of a two-time champion, of just being able to make the Renault, make their moves. And look at him now. He's already pulled a bit of a gap from Biggs. He's got a second over Biggs this lap. So Gary really flying. Fury staying in the 1:39s. Gary's pace not as good as the three in front of him, but let's not forget he has had to pass Biggs this time around and was late on the brakes last lap to get the job done into turn 1. So Gary's pace just a little down on those in front, only half a second slower than Dan out front, but the front 3 still to pit. And Gary, 28 seconds behind his brother. Could Gary be on for a double podium? Biggs and Fury, very slidey. And is that what you're saying, Kelly, about turn 2? Is that how it was last night?
Totally how it was, exactly how it was. That was exactly what happened to me, and then Mays went down the inside and was gone, and whoever else did it to me, Welsh
Fury
did it to me as well.
Fury's just past D Biggs.
Yes. D Biggs having a shocking turn 3. But that is exactly what it's like. It just kind of snapped. And you go into that turn 2, Matt, and it doesn't feel like it's going to do that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is about that corner. That is so slippery, because it's not a difficult corner. It's really not. It's one you feel you can attack, but you really can't, as BT is in the pits and out the pits. Wow.
He is in and out the pit, so good stop for BT Targa there, and he has came in at the end of lap 9. The question is where is Gary in relation to him? Well, BT's halfway down the pit lane. Gary is only just coming out the last corner, so BT Targa should have that job done. You see the green cones there next to that little white marker. That is the pit lane exit where you can put the limiter on. Off he comes the limiter, and Gary's not even at the start line yet, so job done. So BT Targa. Nearly crossed the white line at the end.
Do we get penalties for that?
It does go to the stewards, You shouldn't do it, because it's a safety rule, isn't it? That's why the line's there. I mean, he didn't cross it. He was close to crossing it, but it has been. Dean actually picked up season 1, did that, and actually a few other incidents in the Fuji race season 1, and got himself he was the first man to get a race ban.
Oh wow, well done.
I think it's a bog standard penalty point or something, because it's a safety rule, isn't it, more than anything? So same as crossing the pit entry line is a safety rule. So crossing it or
we like to stick to the safety rules, regardless that nobody's going to get killed. But we like to play the game as it's supposed to be played. I reckon Dan's coming in. Let's watch him this time.
I reckon Dan's coming in. Let's see if he does come in, and if he does decide to spin himself right round. He likes to make it hard for himself.
Gently.
Oh, yeah, nice, easy, in, limiter, bang, job done. Let's see the stop. Let's see the stop, because this will be good. Oh, pit crew nearly not ready for him. In, out. Out. Out.
Out. Anytime now, out.
Oh, Little Each. Hello. That's a bit quick.
Yeah. So I don't think Dan had the glitch set up on that one.
Craig
he may have gone too long for that.
Yeah, Craig in. Dan, definitely just a bog standard stop there. It was a bit slower than Peaceful's. Peaceful's wasn't a glitch stop, but it was a bit quicker than that. Little Each's great stop. Quicker. So that's pulled a bit of time back. BT Targa is coming down the start straight. Dan only just taking the limiter off.
He had a much better pit stop, didn't he? And BT in the lead of this race. In my old car. Have I mentioned that before? That's my old car.
Once or twice, but you'll be saying that about that. You'll be saying that if someone's in the blue Renault next year, I suppose, as well.
I doubt that'll happen, to be fair. But where Daniel's got a thing about his race number, which he's actually got tattooed on his arm.
Number 16.
And I've got a little thing about cars, so that's always my car.
Yeah.
Whoever drives it, that's always mine.
For Little Each's good stop, it's lost him. Place to Gary and Fury then, but not to D Biggs. He's come out right in front of D Biggs. To Gary then, he's worked his way up into 3rd place at the moment, but has Fury within a second of him and hunting him down. Although Fury just had a bit of a wiggle mid-corner there. It isn't done. There's also Little Each and D Biggs in the background. That's not done as well. And, everybody 48 seconds first to last, so everybody's sort of relatively they're all on the same lap, relatively, within 40, 50 seconds of each other. It's nice to see as we're on lap 11 of round 22.
Yes, it is. Yeah, close racing for sure.
Gary, Fury, Little Each, D Biggs, Unorthodox, BT Targa. Sutty kind of on his own. Peaceful's got Disco gaining on him a little bit, but also X-Mark's gaining on Disco as well. And you want to say now who's going to win? Is Dan going to let BT take a second win? BT can still mathematically, if I'm looking at it right, what's the gap? Oh no, actually no, he can't. He's some 86 behind Fury. No, he can't get 3rd place, but can cement 4th, because Gary was gaining. He's only 14 points ahead of Gary for 4th place. So is BT on for a win here, Gary on for a 3rd, just to cement that 4th place? Gary 3rd place overall at the minute in this race, but 5th in the championship. What's going to happen? Does Dan want another win? Take his tally to 24.
I'm sure Dan wants as many wins as he can get, but he probably won't be disappointed with seeing BT have a win. We're all in the same stable, the Prolapse stable, and BT's a lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy.
Brilliant.
Very soft-spoken,
Yeah.
laid-back dude, you know, and as I say, he's been quietly going about his business this season. You know, having some good results, and you know, where's he? Fourth in the championship.
Fourth in the championship. He seems to have got better as the season's gone on. You know, sort of adapt to that Porsche and get that bit better. But I mean, the stories that was told of BT Targa, I've seen BT Targa on other leagues in a Mercedes. We saw BT Targa in the Mercedes last year, and now let's not forget that other leagues don't always run damage in the same rules that we do at SimPlay Motorsport. So. Although we didn't see BT Targa at his utmost best and dominance in Pro-Am last season, taking a year to learn the way SimPlay run their league and the way SimPlay do their bits, if BT goes back to the Merc, he's a contender for a championship in Pro. 100%.
Absolutely. And I was in Pro-Am with BT last season, and as I said, because we're all in the same stable, we were in the same party when we were racing, and you know, I had to kind of point a couple of things out to BT because he didn't know, because he was first time in it, but he's certainly getting the hang of it now, and watch out for him next season. I think he's having a car change. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's having a car change. I don't know, I might have that one back, you know, he's having a car change, so watch out for him. I think he's going to be the silent assassin again as he goes a little bit wide on turn 2. That's the nature of that beast, really. Dan keeping him honest, but not hassling him.
No, not really hassling the back of him, but like you say, keeping him around about the same sort of second period. Fury again, a second to Gary, but without pressurising the back of him. Little Leach has dropped D-Biggs a little bit. Disco's also dropped X-Mark. X-Mark must have made mistakes. He's dropped closer to the back of Monkey Boy now. So Monkey Boy might be able to get a top 10 finish here. And 3 races to go. This is round 22. We go to round 23 and 4. The finale at Bathurst next week, which is in their summertime, should I say, as Monkey Boy has passed X-Mark then for 10th and 11th. Let's go to Monkey Boy just a quick second while him and X-Mark are having a battle, because we've not seen much of Monkey this season. There he is, look, getting past X-Mark. But Bathurst Kelly next week, and although this championship's wrapped up, well,
Marmite track. It's a Marmite track.
It is.
Some people absolutely are detesting the idea of Bathurst next week, and a lot of people are loving it.
Although
I'm in the loving it camp.
Based off of the stream we had season 2, I'm with you, because it was good racing season 2. Now, although the Drivers' Championship's done in the Pro, there's still the Constructors' battle between Slingshot Motorsport and Shake and Bake. There is also the Pro-Am, which, I mean, you know, Maze, yourself, Rabbit Joe can all win the Drivers, but there is 7 points between Team Prolapse and Forever Forward in the Constructors. So next Wednesday and Thursday is not worth the miss, because there's still titles up for grabs and positions up for grabs as well. Plus it's Bathurst. It's going to be absolute carnage, as Gary ran a little bit wide there at turn 1.
Yeah, I believe there is going to be. Fury's having a sniff at this one. I was just about to start ranting on about Bathurst, but Fury is right on the back of Gary now, picking up from where he left off. Gary a little bit better through turn 2. Fury lost a little bit off the back of it. We'll see how this one progresses. It's the closest track battle at the moment. Fury staring at the back of that Renault again. You don't do that very often.
You don't, but you're getting down to the part of the track where Fury admitted in the interviews that this is where Gary and that Renault are super, super strong. So Fury's got to get up that inside, but the Renault doesn't lose that much in a straight line in the slipstream.
No, it doesn't.
Out the toe, the Merc would probably breeze past that Renault in a straight line. But in the toe, that Renault's a handful. And this is where, look, on board Fury, X-Mark's pitted again, so he must have some damage somewhere. But let's just stay on board Fury here and just see the difference.
It's these corners. The Renault can pick the apex up, although Gary breezed past that apex like by a country mile, but it can pick the apexes up really, really nicely on this section that's so incredibly tight. But Fury had a great run out of the last corner.
But such a better run, wasn't it, than Gary's?
Yeah, it certainly was, and it's that's what it's doing for him. It's got him up the inside, but again, on a normal day, the Merc would have just breezed past that Renault, and it hasn't really.
No, because now look, Gary's took back in, and look, now he can't drop him, and Gary can be a lot later on the brakes than the Mercedes Benz. And Gary, although Gary messed up, that was a. I don't know, a bit half one, but Gary then just breezes back up the inside later on the brakes, and job done. 20 people watching it. That thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you like what you see, get involved. Go to Facebook and search SimPlay Motorsport. The links are in the description. We get the Discord in the description as well, so that people can join the Discord if you want to get involved for next year. Sign up sheet is out on the Discord and the public group. To sign up for next year, there is everybody has to, if you want to place on the grid next year, you've got to sign up.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know which grid I'm on yet, but I'm pretty sure. I better do that at some point then.
Yes.
Yes. As Dan has got a lot closer to BT.
He has.
He has got a lot closer. So is BT struggling? I thought Dan had settled in and was just kind of following BT home, but maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe
I don't think BT's struggling, Kelly. A 140.2 seems to be what BT's lapping. I just think Dan did an exceptional last lap, and I think he's had a cracking lap this time around as well. Gets a decent run off the final corner, as did BT Targa, though. They both looked like they got a good run, and BT then just kind of holding station. Dan catches a little bit, BT extends a little bit, kind of just as it is, isn't it? Dan now, though, now that the slipstream's taking into more effect, just slowly creeping up. He's gained 2/10. BT goes defensive here, and I tell you what, although they're part of the Team Pro Lap stable, BT's not making it easy for Dan, and Dan will want this race as they both go Max Verstappen deep.
Yeah, Max Verstappen deep.
That's what we'll call.
Is that similar to Ron Jeremy deep? I was going to say Google that one, but you'd better not, actually.
I'm fine with that one. I know
who he is.
I know, yes, because there was a guy. There was a guy where I used to work called Ron, and he looked a bit like Ron Jeremy, and he got a few people done for bullying him for it.
Well, he's a famous actor. We'll probably just leave it at that. Yeah.
Brilliant actor. If you haven't seen what he's been in,
he could do it on cue, apparently. Apparently he can. Apparently he can perform on cue. But anyway, moving swiftly along. BT has gapped down a little bit again now as the conversation gets weird. All settled down a little bit for a minute. So let's go back to talking about Bathurst, shall we? I'm looking forward to it. But you're right, Matthew. I think it's going to be absolute carnage, especially from some of the Pro-Am guys. It's a very tricky circuit to get right. It's narrow, but fast and very, very tricky, especially at the top of the mountain.
There's two cars I'm looking forward to seeing next week, and one of them's the Renault with you and Nicky. I think me and Dan's had this conversation a lot, and Dan thinks I don't know if he thinks I'm wrong, but I don't think he agrees with me. Bathurst all the time is won and lost up the mountain, up and down the mountain, right? Yes, you've got the chase, good long straight. We've seen, though, on good long straights, the Renault's good in a slipstream, right? And it can hold its own. So I think for the Renault, the time is won and lost up and down the mountain, right? The less you're in the wall, the more time you're going to gain. I'm also intrigued to see the Audi. Now, the Audi, Brynner's hated it, Don't Know Mate has hated it, Mazda and Jamie hated it, Liam hated it last year as Dan gets an undercut on BT Targa, who tries to run wide, but I think BT's going to hold this up the inside at turn 2. Has Dan got it done around the outside? No, tucks back in and thinks of doing that a bit later.
He's playing with him, and he's toying with him.
Yeah, I think they're having a little battle here. I think they're trying to do as best they can between them. Now, the one for me is the Audi. Struggled in the winter conditions, I think. We've seen Jamie in hot conditions where Jamie's got the best out of the Audi in the summer, season 3, We're in the spring at Bathurst. If Don't Know Mate can get that Audi a stable enough setup and can get through up and down the mountain fine, I think the Audi could be one to watch next week.
Well, my opinions on Bathurst, first and foremost, the chase is an interesting long straight down into a very, very fast corner and a heavy braking zone. But the thing with Bathurst is it's not very wide. You can run right down the middle of the straight and there's no room either side to get past. So track position is going to be everything. Absolutely everything. Now, the other thing is it's very slippery at the top of the mountain. There's walls each side. All the way through, there's at the top end, there's a wall all the way through at the top. And as you start to drop back down the hill, it's walls either side. Somebody drops it in front of you, there's going to be carnage. Absolute carnage,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to be won and lost on a couple of elements: track position and being able to stay out of trouble. And that's my opinion on Bathurst. I don't think the car has got a great deal to do with it. Personally.
BT's gone deep.
BT this time.
Yeah, I think Dan forced BT to run a little deep as they start lap 18. BT still there though. Does he have a nose up the inside? No, he doesn't, as Dan now closes him off on this final lap of the race. BT's going to try and look round the outside at turn 2. That's a brave move, and he's gone a little wide and off the track. I think he's going to have to get that one back though, and he does so. I think he was off track when he did the position.
Yeah, and that's not right, being off track, is it? Hello! He goes down the inside. Is BT fighting this one hard? He looks like he is, but
wants to win, doesn't he? Wants to win.
He wants to win. He that's my car. He should win in it against my son. All very weird. But BT's not done with this. Yeah, great bit of racing from these two. BT's, no, you're not going to do it around there, Paul, that's for sure. And he might have conceded that one now. And in the background, look, the Renault's not a million miles away, is it, in this one? And Fury's still keeping Gary honest on this one as we come into the closing stages. And I tip BT for the win, so I'm gutted that he's gone backwards on this last lap, unfortunately. Yeah. But good clean racing for these two. Good clean racing, and it is going to signal that the season 4 champion, the 2-time pro champion, is going to get a race win. It's going to be race win 24 for Unorthodox, and it is going to be the one that seals the championship here then. BT Targa will come home to take a fantastic second place, but for Dan, it's the championship tonight. He'll be loving that one. BT Targa crosses the line, P2. We drop back to Gary, though. Can Gary keep that Mercedes-Benz at bay? I think he's done enough. Yes, he does. Third place for Gary. Get your votes in for driver of the day. We'll give mine in just a moment, but I think I know. Mine and Kelly's in a moment, but I think I know who mine's going to, because he's had a cracking night tonight. Fury, though, a P4 for him. Little Each, better racing race 2, P5 on his 101st race of the season. He's finished with D Biggs in P6. Better night for Biggs, a 6th and a 4th. Better night for him in total. That's good for the constructors as well. Down in P7, Sutty Apex. Good night for Sutty. Good haul of points. Peaceful Explosion. Not the night he'd have wanted again, but work he's looking at next season. P8 though, but 100 races for Peaceful, so nice for him to get that mark. Disco, but nice to see him back out there on track. He crosses the grid. He crosses line P9. X-Mark finishes a lap down in P11, and Monkey Boy then will be the last car to finish in P10. Yes, indeed. And what a race here at Fuji. Some good racing from the pro guys, that's for sure. Get your driver of the day in. There's a couple of contenders for me for this one, I think. Yeah, there's a couple of contenders, but I think one for me shines above the rest in this one. Fastest lap of the race, 39.3 for Dan, 39.2 for Fury. Goes the way of Fury then, with a 39.2. So Fury takes the fastest lap of the race. And what a night that is. Well, I hope Gary comes back in for an interview, as we're going to get. I'm just going to invite Dan and BT Target in now as well. That's all done. And Kelly, give us your driver of the day just while I sort out the championship tables. Well, honourable mentions for me to BT Targa. I think he drove a really sensible meeting. Good quality, but I think the driver of the day for me is going to go for Gary. He's going to be my driver of the day. Although the Renault gave him a chance tonight, and some good results, but also good race from Fury. D Biggs, there or thereabouts, a better showing from him as well. But for me, Gary. Yeah, I've got to give Gary driver of the day as well, because I think he's had a cracking night at first and a third. But the way it looks then is Dan then has wrapped up the title, and that is job done. Fury, though, can get second place. Can he take it away from Andy at Bathurst next week? BT Targa trying to keep hold of that 4th place, but Gary is now coming. He's 19 points behind him. Sutty Apex P6 and kind of pulls away a bit more from Disco yet again in that one. X-Mark's in 8th with D Biggs, tied with him and Little Each. They're all tied on 209 for P8, 9 and 10. Peaceful on 153, Monkey Boy on 125 in P12. And in the constructors table,
Well, let's put it this way. If Shake and Bake outscore Slingshot Motorsport by 7 points in race 1 next week, it will be game over for them. So pretty much we'll end on the title in the Constructors' Battle. Team Prolapse third ahead of the Leachy Losers, but that is as well 19 points in it. So can the Leachy Losers get third place over Team Prolapse? Wakasaki Racing staying ahead of Run Flat Racing, who are 2 points clear of GQ Motorsport, going into the final round next week at Bathurst. And we've got Gary in, and a good third race from you, a good second race for a third place, should I say.
Yeah, good night's work, isn't it? Take that.
Good battles early on with Peaceful, X-Mark, D-Biggs, Fury and Sooty as well. Worked your way through the pack and got another third place.
Yeah, it was exciting. There was cars everywhere.
Better night for the Renault, like you said. First and a third. Good night all in all. A good haul of points. P5 in the championship. Are you looking to try and get on the back of BT Targa for fourth place at the end?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I was hoping Dan and BT were going to have a little squabble there, but they kind of left it late, so I couldn't really gain on the back of them. But yeah, I'll do my best to get there, obviously, but most importantly, we're trying to get third in the Constructors, so that should be a good battle.
Obviously, third, like you say, in the Constructors, that one's similar points to what it is in the Drivers. Do you think third place in the Constructors is doable? Do you think the Leachy boys have got the best of Prolapse at Bathurst?
We'll see. We'll see how X-Mark pulls it out next week. If BT Targa carries on how he's going, he'll take some stock anyway. But it's just how we compare to X-Mark, really. But we'll see. We'll try our best.
Well, we wish you the best luck, Gary. Congrats on the drive of the day, and we'll see you next week at Bathurst, bud.
Cheers, boys. Well done, Dan. Well done, BT.
Cheers, mate. Well done.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bud.
Got BT Targa in as well, and that was a good second race for you. Nice lead of the race for a little bit, and Dan made it hard at the end.
Yeah, I did expect a big challenge, I must admit. I mean, I was running high downforce. I don't know about Dan, but I definitely couldn't hold on to him down the straights. I gained infield a bit, not much, but enough to give me breathing space. Made me all feel constipated at times.
Now, race 1 obviously didn't go your way. We've seen the incident with you and Peaceful. Obviously, not a lot could have been done about that one.
No,
that was kind of a write-off,
really
wasn't it?
Yeah, just gutted about the first race, to be honest. I didn't have a bad start, and I lost it myself on the first corner. But then, by that, what was it, about the fourth corner, third corner? Yeah, there was just cars unavoidable. And sorry to Peaceful for he's the one that ended up having to face me, I think. And it was right off. But still powered on and finished. That was the main thing, I guess. But I was really pleased with that. I'm starting to get the grips of the Porsche. Slowly.
I was going to ask you if I can have it back, Paul.
Yeah, I'm getting there. But it's hard. It's just that Dan's got that edge still in the Porsche. I'm trying, but he drove really well, Dan, and well done, Gary.
Now, 19 points to Gary to hang on to P4 in the championship. Can you do it at Bathurst?
I do love Bathurst, but not really driven there in the Porsche. Love it in the Merc. So I'd like to hope that I've got a chance of, keeping in front. But I think it's all about keeping it on the track and finishing with good points more than anything there. So keeping out of trouble, it's going to be difficult. But I'm enjoying the challenge, whatever, really am. And it's great racing.
Well, it's nice to see you back on the podium again, BT,
Cheers.
And well done.
Thanks.
We wish you all the best for next
guys.
week.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
And Dan, before we get to the race win, just has to be, I suppose, a massive congrats on the second title.
Yes!
Well done, son.
Two. Come on, Gary. Let's fight it out for 3. Who's going to be on top? And obviously, I've got to say tonight as well, a massive... obviously, this feels a little bit weird winning it, obviously with no Andy here, but nonetheless, Andy and Fury, I've got to take their hats off this season. Obviously, with no Gary really fighting in the Renault, it's been a massive pleasure racing against Andy and Fury this season. They've really made me work hard this year, especially Andy. And like I said, it's such a shame he's not here to race tonight. It's just been one of it was not the easiest, but not the kind of the back end of the season that I really wanted, to be honest.
Yeah, obviously sorry, Kelly, go on.
Do you feel that the second championship, which feels sweeter, the first one or the second one, Dan?
I think the first one still. I think the first one, when I actually went toe-to-toe with Gary in the Porsche, both in similar cars, both in similar equipment. So it was really, I took the challenge to the champion and took it off him.
To me, the first one still is more sweet than this second one, but nonetheless, both still feel amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy did keep you honest a lot of the season. I really am dearly hoping that Andy comes back next season and brings it to you and Gary and whoever else challenges. To be fair, because I think it's going to be. I think you're going to have a harder season next year. And you looking forward to that challenge?
Oh yeah, definitely. If Gary's going back to the Porsche like I've heard he is, then we're going to have Gary back there. Fury as well in the Mercedes had an amazing season. And then Andy back in the BMW Disco as well in the BMW Bigs once we get our act together. Sutty as well. All these guys, even the Prolapse boys, Exmar and BT, really do put you on the edge. And when they're in the Mercedes as well, I genuinely think BT... I've seen BT racing in many other leagues, and he's been, to me, one of the top GT drivers. And to beat him fair and square is always a pleasure. But he's jumped into my backyard in my car and tried the challenge. But when he's back in that AMG, I honestly think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And that's obviously not considering the newcomers that could be stepping in that obviously us as admins are aware of. You're aware of yourself. We're not going to give too much away to the viewers yet, but that's without them maybe being in the Pro and chucking up a challenge to you as well, because me and Kelly said it, we and you said it last night, that the newcomers, not just in Pro-Am but in Pro as well, it's anybody's game, isn't it, next year? And you've got to be on your toes for it.
Oh, definitely. With all the drivers that have been rumoured to come up or to join the league and even jump straight to Pro, it's not going to be the easiest of season. It's going to be even more of a challenge. And the possible rumours of possibly changing car as well, a new challenge as well, might also be a bit more than I can actually handle, but we'll see what happens.
Tell us about...
Sorry, mate. I just had a realisation that I'm going to be in this group with you lot. There's no chance I'm going to be anywhere near the podium with the calibre of drivers. So I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I think it's going to be a great season next year.
Tell us about your night, though, Dan. Race 1 didn't go according to plan, but you did the job and did the business. Race 2.
Race 1 was a bit stupid. I had the lead. I came into the pits and the rears locked as I came in. Too much speed and then hit the wall. And as I came in the pits, I was quickly scrambling to change to repair the damage, and it only repaired the aero. And then as I left the pits, I realised I had suspension, so I had to go back in and do another pit stop. So whitewashed that one out, took the fastest lap, but race 2, I was not going to allow that to happen again. BT and Little Leach gave me a little bit of a ding-dong at the start, and then BT to the end. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I loved every single moment. There's a couple of moments that I was a little bit constipated myself from BT launching it on me at times, but nonetheless, it was great fun, and I finally got a Prolapse 1-2.
We go to Bathurst next week. Dan, you need to outscore Slingshot Motorsport by 7 points. One hand pretty much for Shake and Bake on a second constructors title, doing the double, copying the Leachy brothers, and doing the double in the constructors as well. You and D Biggs means a lot to you, obviously, doesn't it, to get to do the double again?
Oh yeah, to match what Gary and Little Leach have done for the last 2 seasons would be amazing for both of us. Biggs, not the best season for him, but I know still to him the constructors is what he always wants to go for, and for us to get it for a second time and defend it for a second time, the first time, is always good to us. So we'll go to Bathurst. Both of us like Bathurst, and I feel the Porsche is best suited for Bathurst. So we're going to go with our heads held higher and going out flat out until the end.
We wish you the best of luck. Dan, Kelly, any final words from yourself tonight?
Well, congratulations to my son on a second title. Fuji was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. To be fair, I thought Fuji was going to be quite dull, to be fair, but it's opened up some great racing. So we moved to Bathurst, and as I said, I'm in the camp of loving Bathurst, but not everyone is. But I tell you what, it's going to bring us some really, really good racing, I believe, and some great action to be watching in Pro and Pro-Am next week. So looking forward to that. But great night here at Fuji.
Great night here in Fuji. Great boot 2 nights here in Fuji. But there's titles on. Who will win the Pro-Am title next week? Drivers and Constructors Championships up for grabs. Kelly, Rabbit, Joe and Maze Gamer in that one. And Team Prolapse versus Forever Forward in the Constructors Battle. 8 p.m. GMT Wednesday night for that one. And then Thursday night, 8 p.m. GMT Shake and Bake versus Slingshot Motorsport. Pretty much job done in this one. It's not as tight as the Pro-Am battle, but either way, sweet and sticky for possibly the last time for a season in GT3s at least. Anyway, we never know what else will happen, but possibly the last time in GT3s for at least one season that sweet and sticky will be in your box. It might be sticky and sexy in your box for season 5, but we'll have to wait and see as we go from there. But that's all we've got time for tonight. Tune in next week, Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. GMT as well. Keep your eyes out on the Facebook page and on the Discord for any news over the weekend regarding WEC or F1 2021 and maybe the odd fun event that's coming in December as we keep the streams going throughout December. We'll be back though next week. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. That was smooth. That was at the end there. I like that. Sexy.
Right, silky smooth.
Filth.
Like a cashmere cod piece.
Filth at the end there. That was Kelly. Filth.
Filth. Good night.
Yeah, I liked that. Well done, Dan. Congrats.
Cheers, boys.
Two-time champ.
Nice one.
Although you did your best
I
to cock
honestly
it up
did have
in
a
race one.
realisation moment how really difficult Pro is going to be next season.
Did you like
Then I don't think Pro-Am's going to be much better.
You didn't catch it on stream either, did you? Please tell me you didn't.
No, we didn't know what happened. We had no idea what happened.
Went into the pits, hit the brakes and slammed into the wall.
Amateur.
That is such an amateur hour, that is.
Innit? Yeah.
And then realising that I had suspension damage, not just aero as well. I had to come back in.
Well, that's what I kind of figured after we found out from Fury, I believe it was, what happened. Of course, then you have to piece it together. That's why you had to come in twice, didn't you? Because obviously your damage was done before you could set up repairing your damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, just before. So, yeah, crazy. I wish we had caught it because I could have laughed.
Oh, I'd have fucking pissed myself. I'd have died.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's on my stream.
Yeah, I think I may have to go back and watch that.
But hey, job done, innit? Yeah. Were you hustling? Was that a genuine fight with you at BT, or were you sandbagging, or were you letting? I was sweating. You was giving him. You was, yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
I can't fucking stand it. I was wringing the neck out of that.
Oh, I like Fuji. I think Fuji's good. Bring on next season.